song.
Can you hear me? That sounds good. We should probably go live then. Well, we are already live, let's be honest. That's how you do a sound check, isn't it? Hello everyone. Ow, my teeth. You just got to listen to live coverage of me smacking the lip of the microphone against my teeth there. Hi, welcome to I Follow. We are Mark Griffiths, Mia Roberts and Andy Morrell, and we're here to bring you the full match. Wrexham at Bristol Rovers, an early start, very early for some of you guys over on the west coast in the States, so thanks for joining us. If it's any consolation, it's horrible here. Really, I don't mean the ground, although, you know, maybe a little bit I mean that. But it's another horrible day again. We got yellow weather warnings. The wind is blowing across the pitch, it's raining. It's not a pleasant day. Looking across, you can see flags that fans have put up on their apps, and look at they're about to get torn away, and I can hear it on the microphone as well. So it's another British winter's day. Pretty straightforward. The key news for us as we start, firstly, Wrexham, only one change, understandably. It's George Dobson who makes way, Andy Cannon who comes back in. No huge surprise in that. I think really we probably wanted a bit more dynamism in midfield after the Cambridge game, perhaps, as the thinking behind it.
Yeah, I think we mentioned Dobson in the first half, didn't we, at half time, that we hadn't really seen a lot of him, and he hadn't really taken the game by the scruff of the neck like he normally does. In the second half he did make a few more forward runs and into the pocket past the two strikers, but wasn't as effective as he normally was, and maybe Andy Cannon and that Barnett combination out on that right hand side has just took precedent today, and maybe just give Dobson a little breather, and Cannon comes in and hopefully maybe add a little bit to us going forwards, and maybe a goal or two.
Yeah, it feels, doesn't it, Mia, like a slightly more, I don't want to say it's a more attacking thing. I think Dobson sometimes just runs in the box well, and he's got a good touch in the final third under pressure. But as Andy said, that combination in Cannon and Barnett can really unlock a team, and the way Bristol Rovers are going at the moment, where they're certainly troubled, but they defend well, having those two to rely on, you know, might be a smart move.
Yeah, I think Andy Cannon started the season really well, actually, and I was really impressed with him, and then obviously unfortunately picked up that little knock which sort of knocked him back a fair bit, and then obviously with the midfield they've been in good form, so there's been no reason really for that to change. But yeah, I think George Dobson last few games maybe just dropped off a little bit. I don't know whether that's due to the amount of minutes he's played so far this season, but no, I think Andy Cannon brings you something different in that middle of the park. So I think it's a really nice problem for Phil Parkinson to be able to have that player at his beck and call. And Andy Cannon today, I think, you know, he'll be really up for this one, and we'll want to prove to Phil Parkinson that he's back in the team and should be staying in the team.
I think Dobson, the change of position for him, moving from that sitter and breaking things up and doing things simply to moving to try and be a little bit more creative and a bit further forward. Well, it certainly had positivities, didn't it, in the game where he went past three and laid it on for McLean to drive and the own goal. But apart from that, that change of position, maybe a mentality thing of I'm not stopping, I'm creating now. It's just a little bit of a change, and it just takes a little bit of time to adapt to that.
Well, yeah, so the team lining up as follows. And Mark Howard, of course, still in goal. The three centre-backs then are Lewis Brunt, Owen O'Connell and Max Cleworth. On the right-hand side, Ryan Barnett. On the left-hand side, James McLean. Cannon comes in alongside Matty James and Ollie Rathbone. And then Elliot Lee again will play off Ollie Palmer. The subs for Wrexham are Bradley Foster, Dan Scarr, Seb Revan, Dobson, and then a trio of attackers, Mo Farl, Paul Mullen and Steve Fletcher. So plenty of firepower on the bench. Bristol Rovers have had quite the week. Their manager was dismissed at the start of it, Matt Taylor. Their coach, Lee Cattermole, has left, although not has actually been made official yet, but it certainly is the case. He only arrived 4 days before Taylor's sacking, and they've looked to bring in Michael Wimmer, who's a German coach, but they've got problems with the work permit. So at the moment, they've got a interim coach in charge, and they have made changes on the side that lost 2-0 against Birmingham. but they seem quite defensive. They seem to have stacked their team with central defenders, essentially, don't they?
Yeah, we're just looking at their team and how it's changed. What they have done is they've brought in a bit of experience to the front line in Sinclair, Scott Sinclair, Man City, Swansea, etc. And Chris Martin, who's Norwich, and a lot of goals, scored 16 last season. Real handful, and I think that the caretaker manager has just thought, I've just got to get people that know what it's like to try and win a game of football. And they'd certainly added to their squad in the summer and added a lot of youth, a lot of dynamism, but it's just not really happened for them. So just going back to a little bit of experience today, and especially with a back five of 5 centre halves, they're just looking for one thing for me, and that's to just come out with a result today and move forward from that.
And their home record's decent. Their defensive record is decent, although it has deteriorated. But yeah, they are possibly, I don't know, they're in turmoil, but they also might be a bit tricky as well, fighting after losing the manager.
Well, I just think anything could happen today. Everything, anything. You've gone 5 defenders, you've gone a bit of experience up top. There's a new manager, the coaches have left, there's a caretaker in charge. It's like it's an absolute bomb's just been thrown into their changing room, and they either come out swinging and they are absolutely free to go and do what they want from the old manager, or they're still just dumbfounded and shell-shocked and don't understand what's going on behind the scenes and can't muster a pass to each other, and we could then take the game to them and win the game. So expect anything, people.
Yeah, exactly. So, especially with this weather, which is blowing towards the Wrexham fans.
The stand,
actually,
because it was a marquee 3 or 4 years ago behind the goal, and it's now turned into a stand, which is a lot better. The ground looks very, very good, but still there's an open terrace for the Wrexham fans, and they're going to be damp, shall we say, by the end.
Oh yeah, it's a pleasingly higgledy-piggledy ground, and yeah, at least part of it looks unified by this nice stand that they put up behind the goal that Wrexham are warming up in front of. But if we kick that way, we'll be kicking into a wind that seems to be getting worse rather than not. It's really blowing. The floodlights are on at midday. I actually thought that was the whole stand was Wrexham, but it's half the stand, isn't it? I didn't realise. But yeah, Wrexham are going to have a test against an untested challenge, really, as the referee. Weirdly, Lee Swaby has refed us here before 10 years ago. He's from Plymouth, and his career seems to be getting southwestern matches, and he sent off Mark Carrington, sort of, I would argue, rather scandalously, but we lost the appeal. So we got previous with him, although I did bump into him in the car park, and he was an awfully friendly chap. So I don't know what to read into that. Looks like we are going to be kicking into that wind in the first half. It's gone down for the moment. Bristol Rovers will get things underway. So yeah, their manager Dave Horseman, brother of Bojack, has suggested that the crowd really needs to get behind the team and their time of trouble, and it's a good turnout here. Bristol Rovers just above the relegation zone, but they've made that change. Can they improve as they wait for a new manager to be appointed? Here we go then, Bristol Rovers in blue and white quarters. Wrexham in our home kit of red shirts on white shorts. The referee just checks with the keepers that they're ready. And it's a good noise here at the Memorial Ground. Like I said, a strange higgledy-piggledy little stadium. And away we go. It's a very open stadium as well, so the wind may well get to the pitch as Griffiths, the keeper, knocks it too long. He's on loan from West Brom, and Andy was saying about the players they brought in, freshening up the squad and young players, when they got a lot of under 21 internationals in the squad, a lot of players on loan from bigger clubs as well. On paper, looks good, but they haven't been performing to that level as the throw-in's taken. Lee, it comes off his chest, but the referee had spotted that Palmer's shirt is being pulled, and Palmer is going toe-to-toe. Players crowding around here. I don't think anything happened apart from grabbing the shirt, but well, it's a feisty start. Happy Christmas, everyone.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if there was something said between them, but Ollie Palmer certainly wasn't giving it up. Jones, it was. James, sorry, I think it was at the back.
Well, McCormack had his shirt initially. Then everyone started getting involved, didn't they? McCormack really had a tight grip of his shirt with one hand, right round the centre of his back, and was really gripping onto it. And I thought the ref had given a free kick for that. But Palmer responded.
Well done, ref, though. Just nonsense.
Yeah.
Little bit of shirt pulling and then a bit of afters.
Yeah, so he's left her at that, and Wrexham went it back from the kick-off, and Barnett goes long early. It's cleared and flicked on cleverly, but not accurately by Chris Martin. You know, when you're in crisis, it's quite nice to be able to bring Chris Martin and Scott Sinclair in up front. That's a decent pair. There's Howard's first kick into the wind, and it gets good distance, actually. Good header, clear. But it comes back in once more and is headed square by Mola. Conte squaring it, and it's a nice bit of footwork by Moore, who works it wide. An overlap now by Bristol Rovers. They're starting quickly. Really good interception, off balance by Brunt. The pass back to him isn't great, and he's tackled in the box. Is it a goal kick? Yes, it is, but it was an aggressive challenge, and they're up for this, aren't they?
Yeah, Brunt definitely takes a risk, goes for the little Cruyff turn, which we've seen him do last few weeks. It's his little signature move, but it's an absolute massive risk because, you know, Bristol really pressed on, really started with some intensity, with the crowd getting really behind them.
Well, the little fracas with Palmer, that's given them a little lift, you know what I mean? To come on then, we're having this. And then a brilliant overlapping run by Wilson there, takes it down the right, and a good cross. And then Wrexham don't just deal with it and clear their lines, and they start messing with it, and like you say, the press is on from Bristol, and they've come for it, and they're certainly on the front foot.
It was a ferocious challenge up behind for the goal kick, which was a statement of intent. If he'd mistimed that, he could have been in a bit of trouble with the ref. But anyway, Wrexham have a free kick in midfield. Matty James on the ball in the centre of the pitch, and two players, McCormack and Sinclair, are working hard on the halfway line. But Wrexham switch it across. O'Connell back in the end to Howards. Yeah, this is going to be Wild West football, this. Howard knocks it long. Palmer gets up well, goes over his head. Moeller has to be alert to hook it away from Barnett. Throw to Wrexham, 25 yards out from goal, right hand side. And Wrexham fans making noise here at the Memorial Stadium. Cannon's the only short option at the moment for Barnett. And eventually Lee shows and receives edge of the box. He lays it off. Cannon picks it up. Early cross is a dangerous one to the far post and has to be headed behind by Moore. Good delivery into a dangerous area. Moore couldn't do anything else but that, could he?
Yeah, normally from Barnett, but Andy Cannon this time just finding a yard of space and just lifting one to the back post. McLean had really pulled off right away and wasn't putting any pressure on Moore, but he has to deal with it, heads it out.
Referee intervening, more argy-bargy in the 6-yard box. As Lee with the wind against him. But still, we've seen what he can do with the wind to the corners, haven't we? Is the referee, is there something on the pitch that he's needing to move? Well, he's gone to tell Lee to put the ball back in the quadrants, and well, I mean, Lee's basically touched it, so, and the ref's happy now. So Lee with the in-swinger, crowded 6-yard box. Lee steps up, sweeps it into the near post. Good header, clear that. Terrific header away at the near post. It came in with pace. That was a nasty delivery. Here's Lee again, dinking the ball into the edge of the area, launched away. Again, the Rovers fans enjoying that. Headed back in by Barnett, and once more it's cleared, this time by Taylor. Overhit as the wind really takes that, and it goes flying behind for a goal kick.
Blimey. That was just an up and under clearance, and it's blown one bounce straight out over Mark Howard. I think it's going to be a gritty first half, this, for Wrexham. Against the wind, if they can just keep the ball and keep it moving along the deck, definitely the place to go is out wide with McLean and Barnett against the centre halves. A little bit of pace over them. That'll be where they're looking to try and get most joy, I would have thought.
Yeah, before the match, Horseman said that this team are going to stick plenty of crosses in the box. So those wide positions he's identified as well as being important, but Barnett and McLean in such fine form this year. You're taking on a challenge to try and get the better of them. Fourth official Is it the fourth official or a Bristol Rovers coach is in Cleworth's way as he takes the throw? And then Lee misjudges it and puts it out of play for a throw-in. So Morrell to take it. Conte offers. Morrell has got McCormack as well offering, but he looks like he wants to go down a line, and he does. The ball seems to slip out of his gloved hands. Rathbone, unlucky, nearly wins the ball back. Now Morrell put under pressure by Barnett. Well done, Barnett. Throw on the halfway line for Bristol Rovers. It's quick to spot the chance to just close down.
Yeah, just looking at the setup of Bristol, they have been like a 3-4-3, but they are definitely a back five. They've gone a 3, they've matched us up in midfield, so they've just put McCormack in on around Matty James, and then the two experienced boys up top to try and unlock our defence.
Now Cleworth's won a header from the throw, but seems to have just gone over his ankle. I think he's okay. He's holding his right side of his jaw as well. I thought he just landed awkwardly on his ankle. He was holding out first. He's wiping his mouth as he dries the ball. Yeah, the fact that they're similar also just means, as a bounce helps Lee. He's charging around the back. Nobody's kept up with him, so he has to hold her up level the edge of Barnett on the overlap. Uses him as a decoy. Outside the foot, sweeps it in. Rathbone can't quite get there. Lee fighting to win it back. Morrell's clearance blocked by Cannon. Does the backspin keep it in? Well, Cannon does so. And it's hooked away. Well, he didn't. It's gone out for a throw in the end. It's Wrexham's throw, beg your pardon. And Barnett will take. Yeah, with them having the same shape and these conditions, those individual battles feel really important. There's a short throw to Cannon, return ball's under a good one to Barnett. Barnett hits the goal line, sweeps the ball in, headed away. Rathbone, not in the goal, but Palmer over the bar from 8 yards out. Wrexham convinced it hits a defender. Rathbone on his knees. Are they saying handball as well? I didn't see much myself in it, but...
No, I didn't see a lot, but I think they're crying for a corner, but Ollie Palmer's got to hit the target. Good little cushion header into his path. Can you get your knee over it, your foot over it, and then even hit it into the ground rather than just blazing it over? Maybe a corner. Maybe I'm not giving Ollie too much credit.
Yeah, but certainly it was a hell of a chance. Nicely nodded down too, fed into him. And as it drove in, just looking at the replay, doesn't seem to be much to see really. It was a heck of a chance for Palmer though. Wrexham 0-0, but with the first opportunity.
Already though, really good link up out on this right hand side with Andy Cannon and Ryan Barnett. Can see straight away why them two work together so well.
Yeah, exactly. Barnett got in well. So throw in now to Bristol Rovers on the halfway line, right hand side. The wind gets up again. Moore throws down the line. Ball gets stuck rather between Brunt and Martin. Here is Scott Sinclair. Martin again plays the layoff. And Brunt's clearance hits a teammate and he pulls his man to the ground. Free kick, level the edge of the box. Struggling to clear our lines again there. And with the wind in our faces, I guess you can understand that. Number of times the last couple of years I've worried it away from home when we don't play it out from the back, but I think at the moment we're in a situation where if you get a chance to get rid of it, I think you've got to and then clear that penalty area.
Yeah, well he's tried to clear it and he smashed it straight into James McLean. And then I think there's probably a little bit of panic there, even though Owen O'Connell's in a really good position to probably pick up the pieces and recover for him, but he's given away the foul in what's a very dangerous area.
Wrexham holding a line on the edge of the 6 yard box. Great chances to rip the ball in. Elliot Lee is the only player not in a defending position. Ref gives the go ahead. And it's more sweeping it in the heart of the 6 yard box. Palmer gets onto it, heads it away. Cannon a bit further, and Barnett volleys it up the pitch. Elliot Lee will chase that. He's blocked off. The referee has penalised him. And Moore ran across him. Lee made no secret of the fact he was pulling him out of the way though. And a free kick's given. So Bristol Rovers, they're looking to turn this into a scrap. Thus far Wrexham are accepting the invitation.
I don't understand why you've got the wind blowing straight down the ground into Mark Howard's face and you would put an away swinger in. I don't get it. Why not put keepers under so much pressure?
Well, they dink the free kick in and that'll be another corner. O'Connell, the wind again caught that and off balance. He could only head it behind. But yeah, it's the same thing Burton did, wasn't it? And here we are now with another corner for them. Will be taken by Lindsay. And it's a fairly empty 6-yard box at the moment. Players starting to arrive on the edge of it now. Lindsay with another away swinger. This time Barnett is the player left up, which makes sense if you're going to chase something that's not long into the wind. Here's Lindsay's corner then. It's floated in towards the far post. Good header again by Palmer. It'll come back in again, or it ought to. A bit of a heavy touch though, and Lee wins the ball back. McCormack miscontrolled that. He had plenty of time as well.
Well, 2 balls into our box and Ollie Palmer onto both of them. He is given that free roll to just leave and just go and head. He hasn't got a marker, but he's certainly so good at it. It's like a magnet when the ball's coming into our box especially.
Throw down the line then. Goes over Palmer again, his shirt being pulled over his shoulders. And then a poor clearance. Rathbones after that wins the challenge. Oh, good vision by O'Connell. Spreads it, the wind catches it. Lovely take by McLean. Only Lee really making the run for him. So Wrexham will bring it back and look to have a bit of possession. Pressure on O'Connell, but he calmly shifts it across to the right-hand side. Cleworth down the line, Barnett on the halfway line. First real fluent spell of possession by either side, I'd argue, as Cleworth goes to the diagonal. Palmer underneath it, creates a loose ball. Lee, unlucky. He knew Rathbone was there, tries a little sideways pass, a cute little one on the half volley, and he was unlucky that tracking back, Lindsay was able to intercept. Here's McLean on the left-hand side. Cutting inside as Rathbone goes wide to make space. Lee, cute idea, touches it on towards Palmer. Couldn't quite get the return ball, which would have put Lee clear on goal. Good, promising, probing play by Wrexham as Cannon hassles Conte. Long clearance in the end by Moore. Throw to Wrexham. That was a good passage of play.
Yeah, nice. McLean getting the typical boos from the opposition fans, but it's a nice ball into Lee, and he's obviously looking straight for Palmer, and he's a little round the corner and goes. If Palmer's on the same wavelength and just step ahead, he just rolls it into Lee's path and he's in on goal. But again, good defending. I think Taylor just stepped across, got a toe in, really important toe to stop it going into Lee's path.
So throw in to Wrexham, left hand side, about 35 yards out. McLean gets it back, pops it down the line. Palmer does well to make that his, and Wrexham are moving it around neatly. Rathbone's pass to Lee just stretched him, but he's got to it, and Wrexham recirculate from left to right. Barnett now, Cannon's made a great run down the line. Barnett drew his foot back to play it, and then I think was worried Cannon might have gone offside, and decides to prioritise keeping possession, and Wrexham are settling into this game now. Nice little ball by Rathbone to the left, brings a round of applause from the Wrexham fans as Brunt crosses the halfway line. Space between the lines for Lee. Heavy touch from him, but he works it wide for McLean. Ref plays advantage. The ball went out, so the ref rightly comes back. Lee was caught late there. Free kick to Wrexham in midfield.
Yeah, the way to get on top of 2 experienced strikers is make them work, and make them work around the back 3. So if we can just keep switching the ball, McCormack will then have to come out of his pocket around Matty James to go and engage on the third centre half, which will mean we hopefully will be able to get Matty James on the ball a little bit more.
Here he is from a short free kick. Rathbone with purpose, moving down the left. He feeds in McLean, squares the edge of the area. Lee has done well to hold off his man. He can square it now to Barnett, 30 yards out. He dinks it into the box. The wind takes it and it's headed away. In midfield, Wrexham fight and win it back. Lee now has a chance to work it wide, and he does. McLean has bodies in the box to aim at, including some of the centre-backs up for the set piece, and he wins a corner. Bristol Rovers thought it was a double ricochet back onto McLean, but it hit both the defenders' legs. And this is much more like it. Wrexham was starting to really get a bit of a grip on this.
Yeah, well, Ryan Barnett put a ball into the box and it just hits the first man. Like you say, the wind sort of picked it up a bit, but then Bristol Rovers just can't clear their lines. And James McLean ends up winning the corner. Hopefully another opportunity for Elliot Lee to put a good ball into the box.
Well, Lee's not daft. He's taking an in-swinger, and he rips it with height to the far post. Keeper just gets a hand on it. And quite frankly, that looked like he was going for another Burton goal, doesn't it?
Yeah, good keeping though. Just get something on it. Doesn't have to get a lot on it, just something to redirect it. He's been in really good form.
Yeah, he's got a really
has
big
Griffiths.
reputation, isn't he?
Really good.
England under 21
Correct.
international. Went to the European Championships with them and started the season with a string of performances that really got rave reviews. Here's a short corner now. Barnett drills a nasty ball in. It's put just over by Brunt. It was dropping behind him, but he lost his man and just couldn't quite keep on top of it.
No, he dropped off really well, Lewis Brunt, and the ball just falls to his feet. And yeah, maybe is it a bit behind him? Is it definitely a difficult one to take, particularly for a defender. But you're just thinking again, can we just try and hit that target?
Wrexham win the ball back straight away, and the Bristol Rovers fans are starting to sound unhappy. So O'Connell goes over the top, and unluckily for him, well, I say unluckily for him, the wind died down. To be fair, he did just drill it straight through the keeper at one bounce.
Just chose the wrong club.
I think so.
Hit the 1 iron rather than the 7.
But he steps out there to win the ball well and feeds it forwards, puts it between Lee and Palmer. And Wrexham lose possession. It's good pressing to try and win it back, though. Wrexham working hard on the left-hand side of the pitch. And when the ball is fed down the line, it's with too much pace, and Wrexham claim it again. O'Connell square to Cleworth. After a rocky start, after a lively start of the game, James looks for the through ball. He's put Elliot Lee in, and he feeds it in. Wrexham take the lead. Genius from Matty James. Bristol Rovers line too high, and he slots it between the central and the left-sided centre-back, and the keeper caught a bit off his line. I wondered if he'd dink it, but Lee was very calm, just fed it into the bottom right corner. Wrexham take the lead.
Well, you were just about to talk about how Wrexham had taken the sting out of the game and that initial couple of minutes from Bristol Rovers, and they certainly have, and this is one of the passes of the season so far from Matty James. I thought he was playing Andy Cannon in, but what Cannon's run has done is it's taken Forbes out of that pocket and that hole, and the ball in behind is just glorious and into Lee's path. And then the keeper's in no man's land. Like you say, Mike, he could have lifted it, but instead he doesn't need to. He just rolls it down the side of him and into the net. A brilliant goal from back to front. Well played, Matty James.
Yeah, signed a new contract this week as well. Matty James, take a bow. I mean, he just makes it look so easy. And then Elliot Lee as well with the finish. You know, Griffiths comes out, makes himself big, but again, it just makes it look so simple. Just wraps it round him, places it in that bottom corner. 1-0 Wrexham, great start.
Lovely instinctive finish as well, isn't it? The keeper's off his line. And I think, his starting position's a bit high because of the high line of the defenders. So at that point when it arrives for Lee, the keeper's probably thinking, okay, he'll give a clue and I'll commit whether to come straight out at him or not. That's a good ball over the top again by Cannon for Barnett, who brings it down. Just got away from him, and the referee penalised him for a trip. But yeah, just by taking it first time, the keeper, as he's thinking, okay, let's get that clue of which way he's going. Oh, it's past me.
But he's made that run, and as he just has a little look to see where the keeper is, and the keeper's made his mind up for him. If the keeper stays inside his 6-yard box, he's got a decision to make. Do I take another touch or don't I? But because he's in no man's land, he can just use the pace of the pass to then add on a little bit of power and guide it into that bottom corner.
Yeah, it was lovely as Wrexham win the ball back in midfield. Brunt did well. Palmer passes deflected. Lee will keep chasing though. Apart from his goal, he's had a very bright start late. It was one of the Bristol Rovers defenders, is it? I think it's Forbes has gone down off the ball.
Well, I think Lee has had more touches in this first 15 minutes than he's had in the whole game last week, because it's just everything is going into his feet. They're playing around him. He's looking for Ollie Palmer. He's looking for the ball whenever either winger back gets it to try and bring and drag out one of the centre halves. He's been absolutely fantastic so far, and topped on to that is a brilliant, nice finish.
Yeah, and it'll give him so much confidence, and I think that's when he's at his best, when you can just tell he's got that sort of audacity to his game, when he just looks full of confidence. And I've already seen it, in this game, those little rotations where whether it's him and Ollie Rathbone, switching, he'll drop in, Ollie Rathbone will go, up top with Ollie Palmer. He just looks so good, and like Matty James, just makes it look so easy when he's playing football.
About 3-4 years ago, Lionel Messi, bear with me, bear with me. Yeah, I know it's a bit, this doesn't feel like Lionel Messi conversation territory, I accept.
Type game, you mean?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. He had a spell where he just couldn't stop scoring free kicks. It was amazing. And Sid Lowe, the brilliant Spanish football journalist, came up. He said it's like he can pick it up and put it with his hands where he wants it to go. And that Matty James pass was like he put it with his hands where, because, half a yard either side as Forbes is going to have to go off. What a blow for Bristol Rovers. And they've already got the change lined up. So Mola, I think, is going to have to go into centre-back in order to allow them to make the alteration. It's going to be Luke Thomas on the left.
Thomas, yep.
But yeah, that's a shame as he walks slowly off the pitch. Yeah, it was just perfect. A foot either side, that pass by Matty James, and Lee is fighting a centre-back. And he did well anyway, Lee, didn't he? Because he did have a centre-back on his shoulder. But what a pass that was. Goodness me.
Yeah, the technique and the bend on it. I mean, there was a great angle I saw on the highlights. It's just absolutely beautiful to watch. I mean, you could talk about it all day, really, couldn't you?
There's so many things that lead up to that, though. His vision, he already knows what he wants to do with it. Andy Cannon's run takes the defender out of that space for him to play it down the line of it. And Elliot Lee needs to also be making that same run in behind. Just so many factors that come into one just fantastic goal.
Bristol Rovers get things underway. O'Connell clears. Throw into Bristol Rovers, about 20 yards out. Here's Taylor's first touch. Sorry, Thomas, beg your pardon. He throws it in short. Conte gives it back. Wrexham usually have two players on Thomas. He tries to hit the goal line. Barnett did well. Just stretching his right foot out behind himself so that if he curled the cross in behind him, he can still get a touch, and he did it twice. The second time the ball came in. Did well to keep balance. The wind and the rain continue to lash down behind Bristol Rovers. The Wrexham fans having a go at Thomas. He's finally taken the throw. And that's strong defending that by James, who holds his man off and clears. Wilson has it in midfield. The Bristol Rovers fans shouted him to shoot. Instead, he played a wide pass that rolled away from his target and out for a throw. It sounds like he was on the halfway line when they called him to shoot. I'm not saying they're desperate for goals, but...
Well, I think by all accounts they were cheering a shot the other day against Birmingham. Yeah. So, things haven't been too great recently for them. So, a bit of irony out there, I think.
There's Wrexham with a throw on the halfway line. Football fans also, though, are relentless optimists, even in the worst conditions. This part of your brain thinks, but something will turn up, like Pickwick. No, McCall, but I've got my Dickensian characters mixed up. This is not good enough. It's McCall, isn't it? Yeah. Throw-in taken. I'm going to stop that now. McLean feeds it back into his own half. O'Connell. Again, Wrexham in that familiar shape. There's a run over the top by Lee. O'Connell has seen it. The wind stops that pass from getting through to him. Great run by Lee. But yeah, the conditions stopped him from having another chance. But Wrexham are getting Lee in behind that high back line. Cleworth drills it over the top, and Barnett's got no chance of getting to that. I'll go through to the keeper. You can get in touch using the hashtag AskWrexham, ASKWXM, on Twitter and Blue Sky. But it may be half time when we get around to it, because we haven't got a bench here in front of us. So I'm afraid probably during the match I might be a bit tricky.
We're winging it. That's what you're saying, Mark.
I'm always winging it. This ball, Mola plays down line. Thomas, good first touch inside. Barnett tackles, but it's picked up by McCormick. His cross is blocked well by Matty James again. And he heads the ball clear. Rathbone can't quite get to the loose ball. It's bobbling around the edge of the area. Conte's chasing that, gets there ahead of Brunt, works it out wide. Moore has got an overlap, but goes backwards, and the Crow, listen to the Bristol Rovers fans, are furious. I mean, he did have options, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world to protect possession. Rathbone had really got in his grill. Oh dear, then he knocks it forwards and it's over.
Shot on target, though.
Yeah. Yeah. The crowd not happy. The Rathbone had really closing down quickly. He was threatening to do what he did when he set up that goal, remember, at the racecourse last week. As Howard pulls his kick into the crowd. Throwing just inside their own half on the right-hand side for Bristol Rovers. Wrexham leading 1-0 for that Elliot Lee goal as Rathbone arrives and gets a challenge in, throwing on the halfway line, right-hand side. Yeah, it's a horrible, cold, windy day. Wrexham subs warming up, Wrexham fans singing to Paul Mullin. As the throw is down the line and headed square, but cleared well again by James, who's, apart from that pass, has won so many balls. And now Cannon tackles Mola. Palmer driving forwards. There's two people inside. Mola uses pace. That's a terrific tackle by Mola. He made a mistake in the first half, a great recovery.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant recovery. He just finds himself in a really sticky situation. Andy Cannon puts the press on really well. He's got Ollie Palmer surrounding him too. And Mola just doesn't really know where to go and ends up losing the ball. And you're thinking, right, we're in here, but does really well to recover.
Nice touch by Lee. Cannon slices his shot so badly that McLean will have a chance to cross. Takes on his man. Rathbone's waiting. McLean tries a right-footed shot as well, blocked. Brunt feeding it back out. Awkward one, but Rathbone's brought it down. Rathbone left-hand side, 20 yards out. Shifting it quickly between his feet, ball playing it backwards. And Wrexham will go back into their own half. O'Connell put under pressure by Sinclair. Switches it. Sinclair's got the crowd going, and Cleworth plays a weak pass. Mola intercepts and again is caught out by Palmer. This time it'll drop kindly though, and out for a throw to Bristol Rovers. But it's a chance by for Cannon though, isn't it?
Again, it's a Lee little flick. He comes late into the space from the throw, and a little overlap by Cannon. Just a little flick from Lee, and Cannon goes to swipe at it with his left. It's either a really poor finish or a ridiculously cool pass to McLean, who's just it's just fizzed out to McLean out on that left wing. And he cuts inside on his right and gets the shot blocked. But yeah, you expect Andy Cannon and his quality to just hit through the back of the ball and hit the target. Just doesn't quite catch it right.
If he meant that, then this is the day to talk about Messi. Ball's not long. Martin goes down, asking for the free kick against O'Connell, doesn't get it. And Wrexham are on the attack again. Nice little nick inside by Rathbone to McLean. Poor ball by McLean, but Lee has won it. Great tackle on Conte. Cannon taking on Conte, now works it wide. Barnett cutting inside Thomas. Rolls it square. Matty James helps it on quickly. Rathbone, Bristol Rovers sitting deep in their area. Barnett on the edge of the D, tries the shot! Just wide! Well, they just sat off on the edge of their box and let us work the shooting position. It was poor, I thought.
Well, they come out after scoring the goal because they've come out the pocket to get Cannon, and now they're just staying in there, and Barnett has followed his pass into the middle of the pitch, into the 10 roll, gets on the half turn, just whips one, just narrowly wide of the upright, but nobody coming out to put any pressure on the shot.
No, I think even Barnett was a bit surprised at how much time and space he found himself in, and Taylor does have to come out in the end, but doesn't get close enough at all, and Barnett gets that shot off and it's just narrowly wide. He catches it really, really well. Yeah,
the keeper was worried. He was trying to bend it in the top right corner. Yeah, and Rathbone beforehand, I was thinking, is he going to shoot? Because they were backing off him as well. They were just defending the 18-yard line, and that was that. As O'Connell again is too strong for Martin. Hits a long one. Hits it high this time, so that the wind catches it. And it's only headed away as far as Cannon, who feeds it down the flank. That was all that was on for him. And he can't quite take enough off it to that Palmer challenge. Goal kick. Yeah, it's been a really good start. Wrexham growing into this game and getting control of it. The Bristol Rovers fans getting frustrated. Short goal kick. Josh Griffiths, well, the referee I think is saying that Palmer was in the box, I guess. Griffiths got the ball away.
Refs just picked something up off the pitch.
Right.
Not sure what it was.
Yeah. Well, he's looks like a conker to me.
It just fell off that oak tree, yeah. Or whatever oak tree it comes off.
Horse chestnuts. You're listening to Topiary Live here on iFollow. Long goal kick taken by Griffiths this time. And again, there's loads of shirt pulling. Barnett drills it clear. Ball picked up by Mola. Conte now. Is they're able to turn in midfield. Looking for an angle. That's a nice little drop off by Martin. And he works it backwards. Ball spread over to the right hand side. It's a good pass. Moore brings it down nicely. Left footed cross at the far post. It's got too much on it. Goes behind for the goal kick. Yeah.
Better play though.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Nice diag.
Yeah,
by Lindsay.
They've been toiling a bit, Bristol Rovers, haven't they? But that was Nice build-up play. The cross, I think, might have just caught the wind a bit when it was going in. I thought he might have put it in for Thomas to attack.
Well, I think maybe the substitution, Forbes going off, just Thomas come on. He's gone right high and wide up against Barnett. He's making Barnett think, well, I can't overly commit because Thomas is going to obviously break.
Here's Sinclair now, awkward for Brunt at a second attempt. He deals with it, but he'll come back in as Moore picks it up. Stands an early cross in. O'Connell stretches, can't get there, but he puts pressure on McCormack and his header drops in the goal mouth for Howard to pick up. More encouraged applause from the Rovers fans.
Yeah, but that's what they need to do in conditions like this. You've got to put that pressure on that back three, make it really difficult. The ball's not going to drop necessarily how you want it to. So put them in those sticky situations, and Sinclair does it there, just catches Brunt out, who did manage to almost recover in the end.
Offside against Lee as Wrexham try to attack.
But just make us defend. Do you know what I mean? Make us run back to our own goal, even if it's just a little flip over the top. I know the wind's going to play a little bit of part in that, but you know, even that ball just dropping onto the top of Brunt, he can't head it where he wants to head it. He's off balance a little bit. The wind's just altered it, so it goes up in the air rather than back towards your own goal, and you can get a bit of momentum from it.
The fact that it's so windy as well, you know, David Horseman saying beforehand they're going to get crosses in, just makes that even more of an attractive idea. Moore on the right has been getting a lot in already and has taken him early rather than trying to take on his man, so he's listened to his instructions as James has it in the Wrexham half. Cleworth now, little rotation between Barnett and Cannon, but Wrexham don't release it yet. It's dinked over the top by Cleworth, looking for Palmer, an important interception, just about dealt with. Palmer, unlucky, keeps chasing and beat the keeper to it, but could do no more than get his studs to it and knock it behind. But Wilson got there first, but the header was nearly latched onto, but Lee has gone down hurt now, so that's a bit of a concern. But it's the sort of weather where if you're going to chase anything, you don't know what's going to happen, do you? The wind holding it up.
Well, it's the defender that comes across and heads it. I thought he's just heading it back to his keeper, but he wanted to head it out for a corner. Palmer didn't give it up, like you said, and gets a little toe on it. You think maybe just get a corner out of it or something, but just toes it out.
So Lee getting treatment. Wrexham players coming over to take on refreshments and get some instruction. We've got a weird history here, generally bad, with the occasional funner moment. Seem to get players sent off here a lot. Like I said, Mark Harrington was sent off here 10 years ago by this ref. There was a crazy game on the last day of the season in the late 90s when... Was it late 90s when we had Danny Williams sent off? We had someone else sent off. We had Kevin Russell sent off after the final whistle. There was some sort of altercation in the tunnel with Brian Flynn waiting to see the ref. I remember Brian Carey being sent off here as well. Happy days. We
did win in there. Lee Trundle, Mania.
Yeah. Did you score in that game?
Well, you wouldn't know it. Yeah. But it's a little bit like Watkin and Thomas. Do you know what I mean? It was, Trundle scored a brilliant goal, like just pure class down one end. We win 3-1. I actually scored 2 and set his up, and it doesn't get a mention.
Good to hear you're not bitter about it, though, Andrew.
Not one bit. Not one bit.
Quantity, not quality. That's what counts in football. It was a good goal. I don't know if he meant it, but Alia's up. Looks like he's just testing his ankle, perhaps, see how he's going. He's not coming off in a hurry. So we'll need to keep an eye on this. Trundle's goal's brilliant when he sort of flicked it up, juggled it, flicked it over his marker's head, and put it in. And Lee's going to have to come off, sadly, for Wrexham. Well, it means Paul Mullin, who looks to have had a bit of an extreme haircut, is going to come on in his place. So a real blow. Elliot Lee playing so well, but just before this busy period of matches, sadly, he's got to come off. Throwing out Paul Mullin on against a defence that looks a little square, a little
jagged,
high.
Shall we say.
Isn't the worst thing to do, but let's hope Lee isn't too badly hurt as we restart. James nods it away, but bounce off Conte, throws to Wrexham. But he was looking so good as well, wasn't he?
But what an opportunity now for Mullin. Not had many minutes. 1-0 up. You've seen the game, how it's panning out, that there are holes and chances to get in, pick. Can you take the advantage of this opportunity, get that goal that he's so desperate for?
And if you're going to get a bit of rhythm going just before 4 games in 20 days or 5 games in 20 days is the right time to do it. As the throw-in came to nothing, throw to Bristol Rovers deep in their own half, left-hand side. Morrell will take. Throws it in short, gets it back from Lindsay and sorts his feet out well. Conte's done well, now there's a bit of space. Wrexham Ham just shuffle across quickly. Sinclair helps it wide. Moore cutting inside. He had an overlap, he's gone back to Wilson again. The fans frustrated with him for not going forward. Sinclair's dropped deep and brings the ball down nicely, finds McCormack, helps it on again. Moore, early cross, well blocked by Cannon. Moore is battling with Mullen, who's done so well to lever the ball off him, and a return ball to Cannon sends Mullen down the flank. The bounce means he has to take it on the chest and hook it in early. Palmer, great strength, muscles his man off. Edge of the D. He's got an overlap in Barnett, plays him in. Barnett stands to the far post. McLean attacks it, volleys it. Great save. Oh, what a save by Griffiths. Fantastic move by Wrexham. Still Wrexham come. Cannon dispossessed by McCormack. Barnett can't tackle Thomas. And all of a sudden a chance for a break. But wow, Wrexham pressing hard here. Cannon now pressuring Conte. It goes back to the edge of the box. Wilson, and they've worked their way out clear, but goodness me, the pressure Wrexham put on then. Hell of a save from McLean.
Well, yet again, it's Moeller who just doesn't look comfortable on the ball at all when he comes under that press. And then we take it really well. It's a lovely little lob ball over by Mullen for Palmer. It's just really difficult to defend those sort of balls. And Palmer does ever so well. He just looks the favourite every time in those little 50-50s.
Here's Palmer now after James and Mullen had combined in the middle of the pitch. Palmer holding her up. I've got to say, the way that Palmer bullied Martin in the middle as well, the Bristol Rovers fans weren't happy, and quite rightly. It was a horrible ball to play in, but the defender was favourite, and Palmer just eased him off it. Wrexham in midfield, the play's just slowed down a little bit, although Mullen made a lovely little run there. It's fed across to the right. Cleworth has got Barnett outside. Barnett cuts inside to take over. Cannon's making the run inside, and that's made room for Barnett, who drives at the space, finds Cannon. Ball with the outside of her foot. Palmer denied by a tackle. Rathbone hits a shot, and it's sliced wide. I wonder if it had taken a deflection, but it hadn't. But constant pressure again from us.
Well, they've just got bodies ahead of the ball all the time, Wrexham, and they've always got willing runners into gaps. They're pulling the Bristol Rovers back three around all over the place, causing them all sorts of problems. That time it's Palmer, just can't quite get his shot. Then on comes Ollie Rathbone onto the strike. You expected him to hit a sweet one again. Doesn't quite contact it, but really positive play by Wrexham. They're always looking for that little slide ball down the side of one of the back three.
They look so open, Bristol Rovers. You just feel you've got to be ruthless here. Put this game to bed. Throws to Wrexham.
The post? Or is it a save?
Oh, just having a look there.
That's a big hand if it did it.
Yeah. A clean. Oof.
That's come off the post, doesn't it? Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's a big moment. And Wrexham, wow, creating the chances. Here's Palmer now in the air. Rathbone gets up the loose ball. Nearly finds Mullen with his header. Rathbone tearing after the ball. He'll keep pressuring the keeper as well. And as a result, Griffiths puts it into the centre circle, straight onto O'Connell's head. Poor touch by Martin, and Cannon, nice feet to get past him. Conte with an important challenge, but then great work by Palmer going full stretch to keep the ball. Bristol Rovers fans are disgruntled, I think not least because from their perception Wrexham were out battling them as well. The number of as O'Connell's given away in the box. Sinclair, luckily for Wrexham, lost his balance, and Matty James typically tidies up, but that was a horrible moment from O'Connell then. Clear foul. Free kick to Wrexham as Brunt tried to bring the ball away. But yeah, for me, the fans get frustrated because we're winning so many tackles as well that they feel, they're not fighting as much as we are almost.
Yeah, it's just those 50-50s that we're coming out on top of, and they're just trying to maybe a poke here or a prod rather than a proper tackle and looking to come out with it. But they're again just a little bit slow on the ball. Good press by Sinclair, but just off balance, couldn't get the ball back into his partner Martin, and Wrexham get away with it. But again, really good by James, wasn't it? Covering in and covering round and he's just got a really good first touch, so he's really confident that when the ball does drop to him, you know where it's going to be.
Cannon again, snapping away. And Thomas has to be alert to tidy that up. Yeah, Cannon's really aggressive when he hasn't got the ball. As Moore hits it long, brought down beautifully by Brunt, who feeds it back where it came from. Mullins offside though. And Taylor can run through to the keeper, Griffiths. Yeah, Cannon comes in and hassles Conte. And Conte's bigger than him, but Cannon is really aggressive and is winning the ball off him consistently. You know, good pressure by McLean. And again, they nearly come out Wrexham with the ball. Bristol Rovers fans have stopped complaining for asking for free kicks when their players go down. Here's a chance for them to break perhaps, but it's a heavy touch off Sinclair's chest. They picked up the loose ball in midfield though. Good early ball by Lindsay to Conte. But his touch is poor. And again, it's pressure on him by Cannon. It's in the way. Mullin thinks he's offside and he stops playing. He back heels, he wasn't offside. Oh, and he should have carried on. He was in on goal then. He thought he was off and he said to Cannon, come past me and get the ball. In the end, he had to play it and no flag. So he could have carried on and had a shot at goal. That's so frustrating for him. The fans are going mad at the linesman. I've got to be honest, I thought he was on. Personally, I just thought their defence was all out of shape and made them look offside.
I'm not exactly sure he was in line with it really when it was played. And so Mullin just didn't really know what to do. I think he's just got to go and hope that he is onside and play on rather than just leaving it. Make a decision.
The Bristol Rovers have it on the right. That's a cute ball around the corner, but it can't quite find Wilson because of Rathbone's hard work. He's being pressured now by Moore and knocks it off him for a goal kick. Nice work. Yeah, it was for me, I thought players on the far side keeping him on. It was just that the defence is so ragged, there's no one near him and they all assume he's off. But whereas it's good awareness to be looking around the corner at Cannon, but yeah, in that situation it's a better just go for it and see if the flag stays down as the percentage option. Here's Howard then. Again, getting good distance as the wind gets up. Palmer is left alone by the centre-backs and takes it in the chest, but he's inaccurate. Martin feeds it backwards. Moore to Wilson, who feeds it long. Well won in the air again by O'Connell. Ricochet favours Conte. Poor touch again by him. James tackles him. And Lindsay just drills it across the pitch out for the throw.
Well, it's just the first touch of these Bristol players. The ball's coming into them and it's just getting away from them. And Wrexham are able to just nibble and pick the second touches and take possession off them. That's what the groans are coming from, the gas heads.
Yeah, the gas. Yeah. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, yeah, their old ground used to be by big gasworks. Hence the gas heads. Throw in taken. Thomas gets a free kick. For a shirt pull by Palmer. Free kick taken from the wrong place though. But just for the moment, the ref was popular with the Bristol Rovers fans.
Yeah, and he was going to play on, but 5 of the Wrexham players all pointed about a yard from his face that it should be back there, and he decided to bring it back.
So here we are now with Moore to Conte. Again, they're getting frustrated. That wide switch is a dreadful idea, and Rathbone intercepts. Oh, he couldn't quite get to the ball after intercepting, but James pings a spectacular volley out to Mullin, who's got it on the left-hand side, dinks the ball in, and it's Cannon who hits it straight at the keeper. A volley from the edge of the box. He went side-footed for accuracy, but unfortunately couldn't pick out the corners.
Well, a brilliant pass by James once again. Just hits it, little sidewinder out to Mullin. Mullin can't quite get his first touch, but his second touch is positive, and then a lovely cross, and thought it was for Palmer coming away from goal, but it's Andy Cannon on the edge, and like you said, he goes side foot for accuracy but just doesn't get anything on it, and it goes straight into the arms of the keeper either side, and it's possibly another goal. They've got to take another one of these chances because we are right on top.
But Mullin looks offside this time, Linesman gives it. Tightish though, they'd stepped up, but there were channels to run through. 5 added minutes will be played. And yeah, just moments before though, again James with a good challenge as the free kick in midfield. Remember when they brought in that rule that the offside free kicks are given for when the player starts the run? And it hasn't been repealed, but nobody does it anymore. I really find it. Oh, I don't know. I looked it up because I saw a game, because you can have an offside free kick in your own in the other side half now, and I thought they must have changed that. But then I saw a game where they did it. Yeah, you can still do it, but the refs don't. That's a great header from Brunt, and now Barnett with the early ball over the top. Mullins on the chase. He's goal side, last defender. The backspin just holds him up, but he's got options. McLean made a great run. I think Mullin saw it was a difficult pass and decided to keep the attack going. Barnett again comes inside Thomas, cuts back in the other direction. James is waiting for the handoff. He receives it, and he dinks it in early with pace and swerve. Headed away well from the edge of the jar box, and it's cleared. But O'Connell's there. Gets there and feeds the ball to Barnett, who can't quite keep it in. Yeah, to me, they're just a little too high, and you can get the ball in between their centre-backs. There's too many gaps between them, and it's quite straightforward to get the ball in behind them.
Yeah, but with the wind as well, balls forward, you can play in, and they're not going to run out. They're going to stay up. Next second half, yes, by all means stay up, because the gap and the ball will fly through. But in this half, any ball just in over the top, and the Wrexham players have got a chance of staying onside and getting it before the keeper gets it.
Will Wrexham regret not taking advantage of a half which we've completely dominated, and we've opened them up so many times in the middle of the pitch? Moore did well to deal with that then. He overdid it.
Well, when you've got a wind like this, it's really, do you benefit the wind in the first half, try and get ahead? Or do you wait, try and play against it when you've got energy to deal with against the wind, and then hopefully second half you take advantage of that wind if you can stay in the game?
That's another poor ball forwards by Bristol Rovers. O'Connell clear. Brought on nicely by Rathbone. James back to him. Rathbone, lovely ball around the corner. It's great stuff. Palmer to James to Cannon. And Wrexham have opened them up again. Mullin wants the bars. Cannon tries to slide it in and is challenged. The ball's scrambling in the box till Cannon puts his hand on it.
But why has he not just rolled it into Mullin? He's absolutely steaming forward into the gap, which is exactly what he needs to do. Breaks into the space. But then just get your head up and roll it into Mullin, who's got acres of space, and he just takes a touch into the middle of the goal and put it in or have a shot. And then he just decides to crawl around on the edge of the box with it between his legs. I'm not sure you're allowed to do that.
Well, no, by driving in, he drags Moeller away from Mullin, leaves Mullin in so much space, like you say, Andy, and just for some reason chooses not to. I don't know whether the ball just did get stuck under his feet or something, or but he definitely could have played him in. Massive chance that towards the end of this first half.
And then he's on his hands and knees like he's giving a little kid a ride on his back with the ball under him. It was never going to end well, was it? To throw to Wrexham. Cleworth short to Barnett, who's caught late by Thomas. Referee has given that. Thomas not happy. But as Barnett hooked it round the corner, Thomas ran through him. Not saying it's a card necessarily, but he did make contact on Barnett. Cleworth was good with that, winning the throw-in. He is going to his pocket. Yeah, Cleworth did well with the long ball over the top. He's marking Martin, who of course is a big unit, and they just got tight enough, engaged with him, because the wind was always liable then to blow it over their shoulders as heads, as long as Martin can't back out.
And then you just hold your position, hold him under it.
It was great. It was great. Good stuff. So free kick, Cleworth will take. And Thomas, the first player in the match to get a yellow card. Cleworth lifts it over the top. Palmer backpedaling, battling the two defenders. It's headed partly away by Moeller. Cannon puts it into the edge area. Palmer jumps into Moeller rather. Free kick. Palmer's not happy and he's going to pick the ball up and complain, which wastes a little bit of time as well. And if he's not careful, he gets a yellow card. Just wasn't subtle, that, was it?
Well, he basically bench presses Moeller off the ball here, because rather than just easing him out with the shoulder, he just pushes him blatantly under the ball. And he doesn't need to take the ball, he just get on with it.
The free kick again comes to nothing, bounces straight through with the wind to Howard. Martin, he flicked it on, his rueful gesture as he walks away. Howard just making Sinclair come to him, and the referee decides not to play the full 5 minutes. It's half time and Wrexham, comfortably ahead. I just feel I want to see how the second half starts with the wind, just to see that the pattern continues, because if it does, I'm happy, but if not, we may rue that first half.
Yeah, well, they should be ahead by more, really, because bar the first 2 minutes where Bristol were right on the front foot, the fans right behind them. Wrexham have took the sting out of the game and have been very, very worthy leaders at this half, and they should be more ahead. They've had chances, hit the post, a couple of good saves, had chances that they've missed, so I think they'll be disappointed not to be further ahead. And now you're still in a game at Bristol with the turn in the tables. Yes, we've got the wind, but as you've seen, it's not so easy playing with the wind. It's sometimes better when you're playing against it, so it's not done yet.
No, it gives Bristol an opportunity to regroup and go again in this second half, and with that 1-goal margin, like we're saying, it's not enough, is it? And the chances we've had that first half, to be honest, I think that's some of the best football we've played so far this season. I was very impressed with us. I thought just very calm, very composed. Listen, I didn't think Bristol Rovers put a great show on for themselves in that first half, but I thought we were very professional, very composed and controlled, like I say. And I thought Andy Cannon, Elliot Lee was exceptional. Obviously, that's the one massive blow in that first half, him coming off early with injury. Hopefully that's nothing too serious, but yeah, hopefully we can get an early goal in the second half and really just try and kill the game off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's always a raw place to come here. I feel the crowd get behind them, and it's these conditions as well. But we showed control, like I say about playing good football. That move that ended with Cannon not being able to play Mullen in was one touch, and it was just beautiful, wasn't it? He worked it from the left-hand side over to the right and opened them up. We were just too quick. The ball moved the ball too quickly for them to deal with. It was fantastic to watch. So, 1-0 at half-time. Chance to have a look at a few Ask Wrexhams. Apparently, this is ironic. Like I said, we're not able to get at them during the match. And the Ask Wrexham hashtag, nevertheless, points out, is trending on Blue Sky in the UK. We're the 9th most popular hashtag in Britain on Blue Sky. I know. Oh, I feel so social. No, we better pay attention, haven't we, I suppose.
Are we the only ones on Blue Sky, right?
Careful. Let's have a little look here. Oh, there's a What We Do in the Shadows gif that I feel immediately attracted to. Let's have a look. I'll get back to the start of the game, see what we got. We got Jarvis has got Red Star, his cat, who's watching attentively. Always watches all the games, Red Star. Proper fan. Red Star likes what he's seeing. Margot says, I'm really impressed by the number of West Coast US and Canada fans tuned in so early, catching the sunrise with a football match, because 7 hours ahead, so we're talking about 5, something like that.
I'm not bothered about the time. The sunrise bit, that's the annoying bit when we're sat here with rain coming into our faces.
I remember Son. It was great, wasn't it? I don't know. Let's have a look at this. Cryptic suggests that the football will be warmer, except that Bristol Rovers is abbreviated to BRR. BRR. Very nice. A lot of people predicting here that Lee was going to have a field day and score a hat-trick, and then he goes off, and then people saying, don't curse him. 4:30 in San Diego. Says TH3 Stan. Jeff Callis on a first day of the holiday break from work, and instead of sleeping, I'm up at 4:30 to watch Wrexham. 3 points would be a wonderful gift to get as an early present. That would be fantastic, couldn't it? Gareth's in. That's why we extended Matty James's contract. Just keep replaying that pass to Lee for the goal, a real gem. Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is fair as well. Is it KJ Gully saying now this is some nice football in tough conditions? We have done well, haven't we? You wouldn't say, you can see how it's affected Bristol Rovers, but I wouldn't say it's really affected us that much.
Yeah, well, you've got no choice really when it's right in your face, because if you get it up off the floor, it starts to go all over the place. So you have to then play along the floor, and sometimes it can make you play a little bit more. But we've certainly mixed it up. We've been able to play over the top of their defence into the space behind them because the ball doesn't run through. And we've certainly played the conditions a lot better than Bristol at the moment. But obviously got the second half to come.
Yeah, I've just been so impressed with us in that first half. Like I said earlier, I just think we look full of confidence again. And players like Elliot Lee, when he was on in particular, just finding those gaps so easily. And I think, listen, there's a lot part of that down to Bristol, not being quite high and not really knowing how to deal with that, with him coming in short with that partnership with Ollie Palmer. But yeah, I just think we looked a different sort of class, different level that first half, and it's just a shame that we've only got the 1 goal lead to sort of show for it.
There's a great screen grab here from Walter Nitz. I think that must be I thought it was the coach or the fourth official. It is the fourth official. He wouldn't get out of McClure. As a throw-in early, he wouldn't get out of McClure's way. I didn't understand what he was doing. But Walter Nitz has got the screen grab, and he's saying to him, "Do you think we can get me a meet-up with Reynolds?" And it was odd, though. You can see on the picture, the guy's right on the touchline.
And he didn't move either.
Yeah,
when he was like,
out his way.
Max wants to... all right, mate? Just take a step, mate. Give me a bit of room.
Eliza's saying you can hear the wind in the microphones. Yes, we can hear him in the headphones. It is really strong. It was weird before the game. It was a weird pre-match in the stands for me. It's slightly idiosyncratic setup, shall we say. And we were told the seats we've been allocated might be being used by Hospital Radio, which wasn't the case. But I had to call the media manager at Bristol Rovers to find out. He's a lovely fella. And he said, you'll be all right in this stand because it doesn't get windy. Well, if this is not windy, I hate to be in any of the other stands because for me, the roof is really making a wind tunnel. It's blowing so hard across the pitch. Across the stand, rather. So I'm not surprised you can hear the wind. And ironically, these microphones are much better in the wind than the ones that you see people using, the ones that come off the headphones. They pick up everything. These are one directional, so it doesn't mean like they're in the fan club. Sorry. The noise coming in, you can only get noise into it from where your mouth is, or weirdly enough, the exact opposite. If you held these the wrong way around, they'd sound exactly the same. I'm getting boring now, but nonetheless, I'm enjoying myself and I don't care about anybody else. That's it, and you're modelling it beautifully. So the wind shouldn't get into this much, and yet it is, so just show how bad it is today. I've driven down with Geraint Parry, the club secretary, who is the loveliest man on earth, and an absolute gent, and he gives me lifts to the Saturday games. I'm really grateful to him. He's obsessive of football, and he's hoping on the way back to catch the second half of an amateur game on a ground near the M5. And I'm looking at this weather and thinking I might watch it from his car. This is a great one. Sterling Corbyn. I haven't noticed your Ask Wrexham for a while, Sterling. Good to see them. Picture for 4:30 a.m. in Victoria, BC, so British Columbia. But why is so much happening at 4:30 in the morning on your street? There's a big green lit up Father Christmassy style mega truck thing. What's going on? What happens? And Santa's on it. Santa is on it. What? It's a house. It's not a truck. It's a house. It's like two houses on wheels behind Santa. Explain yourself, Sterling. What sort of town is this? 4:30 in the morning. Victoria looks like it's, insane. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, Jarvis is sharing the stats off the stream. We don't have a monitor or anything here. But the half-time stats he's saying is impressive. 0 shots from Bristol Rovers, 9 from Wrexham. Fair point. Only 1 cross-in from 9 for them. And Wrexham, we're on top and it shows possession. We got slightly more, but this isn't about possession. This is about threat, this game, isn't it? And we got plenty of that. Philip Roberts is watching from a hotel in Savannah, Georgia. We're jealous about heat. That'll be pretty warm, I'd imagine. But I may have inadvertently punched the bedroom mirror when Lee scored. No damage done. To your hand or the mirror? Wow. Rava says 4:30 a.m. start. It'll be 60 degrees something and sunny in Vegas today. Technically, it's still Friday, though.
Yeah, just put that Ask Wrexham away now. Because
I will. Fair enough. Yeah. Although I will say quickly, Daniel Stroud. Hello, Daniel. Conditions look awful. Check. Is the wind swirling and changing direction, or will it be at our back second half? I think the latter. It seems pretty much just blowing. Well, I think the camera's on the far side from us, left to right, as the stream is showing it. Yeah. So, but it is, and it's showing no sign of letting up. Okay, so I think the camera's the other side, isn't it? It must be. It's not here.
Yeah, they look like they're up over that seat unique sign.
It's a shame because it's quite a weird looking stand for people to have a look at.
It is, yeah. Well, it was rugby, wasn't it? Rugby used to play here, and they used to duel. You have all the lines on it, on the pitch and stuff.
and I believe they I don't know, I'm not saying this is because of the football, but I believe they turned the pitch 90 degrees, which is why that stand is so narrow.
Okay.
It doesn't reach, it only reaches, well, just about the edge of the penalty areas, because the pitch used to be behind the posts, apparently. And it's also, I guess, why I had such a sort of weird, and I keep saying it, but it's the right word, higgledy-piggledy look to it, with little funny marquees everywhere. Because, it was sort of temporary stands and all sorts of stuff, and it's becoming more permanent looking now. Yeah, most of my recollections of Bristol Rovers games are like pretty grim, if I'm perfectly honest. I just remember one at Bath when they played there for years, where it was an open away terrace and it was boiling hot and there was no cover. Oh, and it was really uncomfortably hot. We were terrible. Gareth Taylor, in his first spell with Bristol Rovers when he was just coming through, just destroyed us. I think he scored 2 goals. I think they scored 4. But it was great fun because the legendary choir master of the Wrexham fans, Jacko, led us all in a rap version of the Lord's Prayer. It was remarkable. And as often happened when he did stuff like that, like all the Bristol Rovers fans just stopped making noise because they just didn't understand what the hell was going on. And the whole away end of all clapping, the Lord's clap, clap my shepherd. And it's like, what? You've got to join in, haven't you? So let's have a look on Twitter on Ask Wrexham. If they're gloating, I promise, Andy, if they're gloating about the weather,
Don't read it out.
I'm not looking at it.
Yeah, I don't mind the early morning stuff. Well played, anybody that's got up early.
Yeah.
But if the sun's out, shut the curtains.
Well,
Don't tell me.
First one I've seen is Todd Lloyd saying we got 2 inches of snow overnight and it's cold here. Good. That's the sort
That's better.
of correspondence that we want. Yeah, it's a hell of an early start for them. Oh, Michael Beeders wants a picture of the one directional device and has sent a gif of the lads themselves, of course. Oh, Steve End the Wars Orcott is tailgating pre-match, I think, over there. He's in North Carolina. No, is the short answer. I suppose it. I'm trying to think of an exception. No. I mean, in some cricket grounds, but again, it depends on the setup. You get people having picnics, but I would only describe it as a picnic. Lord's is like the real old-fashioned cricket ground of incredible history. I mean, they play cricket on it for about 300 years. You think Wrexham's an old football club. And the nursery ground, which is their ground right next to the stadium, within the stadium, but behind that main ground is another one, which is where their youth teams play. And that traditionally is a picnic area when there's a senior game on, and so that's a famous. But that's not unlike any atmosphere in any sporting occasion you'd ever go to, unless I suppose you're in a hospitality box. It's so weird because you hear champagne corks popping all over the place. They're selling all these bottles of champagne. It's all very well heeled, and people come with these proper looking old-fashioned picnic baskets, like I assume they have on Downton Abbey, not having watched it. And it's all very posh, people turning up in their suits and ties. Last time I went there, I also had a massive row with the bloke sitting next to me who was picking his nose extravagantly, and I had to I had to intervene in the end because it's a long story. And Leeds do the same at the cricket because their rugby ground is the stand of one of the rugby ground stands is this on the one side's the rugby ground, on the other side the cricket ground, and so people go and have picnics on the rugby ground, which I always think's dangerous. I mean, people hit the ball over the stand. I always think someone's going to get killed standing on the rugby pitch, but I don't know. But no, in football, fan zones are becoming a thing more now, aren't they? They're sort of newish, but actual tailgating, can't think of any examples really of that in British sport.
No, non-league, used to love the non-league stuff when the away fans would go behind one goal and then half-time walk round and go behind the other goal to like try and suck in a goal for their team and change ends. That was quite amusing, seeing them just wandering round at half-time.
And as well, to be fair, I mean, obviously, as Wrexham come out, the wind and the rain seem to be worse. It's really, the rain looks quite heavy. But yeah, as when we went to the National League, obviously I didn't want to stay in National League, please don't get me wrong. But those elements were better in National League. You know, you tended to get a friendlier welcome from fans and clubs. I'm not saying out of all clubs, to be fair, but in the Football League, a lot of places are a bit, you know, identikit. The stadiums look quite similar. The people there just doing a job. In the smaller clubs, you tend to get nice welcomes. And also, things like the food often were locally done and care had been taken over it, and it was a bit more of an experience. If you go in their social clubs and they're keen to chat to you about football, and they were often a nice experience. I suspect going in the changing rooms was less pleasant. Must have been some right holes, but, you know.
I'm just trying to see if there was any changes. I thought Dan Scarr was going through a bit more of a rigorous warm-up than the most, but Bristol have certainly made a change.
Oh yeah. The right wing back, it looks like. Well, is Moore off? Can't see him.
Sinclair, number 7, I think.
Oh, beg your pardon. I'm looking at Moore, number 4 as well.
And they've gone.
They've brought on Senior, haven't they? They're right back.
And Omochair as well.
And Omochair, yeah. So I think it's
Sinclair's
Sinclair and
gone.
Moore off.
Yeah.
And they brought on Omochair, their club record signing this summer from Fleetwood, who's got 2 goals, both in one game against Cambridge. He has had injuries as well. And Senior, he seems to follow us around. He played against Wrexham for Morecambe. Now here he is again. So, well, you can understand them wanting to make changes after how that first half went, as Wrexham get things underway. Long ball by Cleworth with the wind behind us. Palmer turns Muller beautifully, works it wide. Barnett's after this. Oh, Muller stood up to him though. Cannon was, beg your pardon. Wrexham with a throw by the corner flag.
Again, great start by Ollie Palmer. Lovely touch, brings it down in his feet. Just the pass out wide just hasn't quite got enough on it. Makes it a bit more difficult for Andy Cannon.
Throw taken short. Cannon, great first touch, goes between 2 men. He's obstructed by Thomas, who's on a yellow. I know it's obstruction, and I know I'm pushing my luck a bit here, but Cannon's running unopposed into the penalty area and has been deliberately blocked off. I know he's not going to give him a second yellow, and he hasn't, but I'd be an awful ref. I'd be sending people off left, right and centre. Now this is a nice angle for McLean to just tear this end. There's only one man, Thomas, in the way, maybe as a punishment. And it's about 10 yards out on the right flank. McLean signals and gets on with it. Floats it to the far post, in fact, and beyond the far post. I'm still liking my rip it in idea after seeing that.
Yeah, I think that's the best policy. Get people across the eye line of the goalkeeper and just whip it right towards him, and any sort of touch, or even if you don't touch it, you running across his eye line will put him off, and it just got to hit the target really and go with a bit more pace. He's just trying to flip it up, and the wind's just got a hold of it.
The wing gets a hold of Griffiths' goal kick, and it drops on the halfway line where it's won well by Cannon. Ball picked up by Barnett. He lifts it over the top again. Palmer again gets in round the back of Muller. Ball doesn't quite stick for him, but Wilson's under pressure. Had to put out for another throw by the corner flag. Well, this is a great start to the second half. The wind behind us, Wrexham just penning Bristol Rovers in their penalty area. Barnett has the ball in his hands. Cannon, as ever, is going to make a run for him. Mullen offers and receives it and tries to turn Muller, who stood strong. Barnett, good touch, gets him behind Thomas and then wriggles away. Looks to go around the outside. Thomas has helped. Barnett does well to lay it off, and Cleworth bursts past his man, drills in across. Muller, heavy first touch, but his second touch volleys it away. Omochair, chest it down. McCormack tries to play a return ball. It's a good one. Omochair's isolated down the left flank, so takes on O'Connell, draws the foul. That'll be a yellow for O'Connell. He wasn't really going anywhere, was he? And I just wonder whether he could have stayed on his feet and let him run out of play.
Well, he was just desperately looking for it as well, I felt, because he couldn't really. We had 2 around him, 3 around him, nowhere to really go, and he's trying to buy it. There's not a lot in it either, is there?
No.
But he just does enough to buy the free kick, really.
He's looking for Palmer to do, for O'Connell to do that, isn't he? And O'Connell obliged. So free kick on the touchline, left-hand side, about 35 yards out. There's a spare man there, so Rathbone is over with Barnett, who is the wall. Wrexham hold a line around the penalty spot. Ref gives the go-ahead. It's slant in with pace. Partly headed clear by Cleworth, and it's helped on, but again, Palmer intercepts. Can't keep the ball though. Ball's fed backwards, and it's a daft challenge by Palmer. Gives a free kick away. The Bristol Rovers fans want a second yellow. It was never a yellow card offence. It's a daft free kick to give away though in the shooting area.
Yeah, like you say, it's never a yellow, but it's a really silly challenge from Ollie Palmer, who does well initially. Again, you know, he's in that position defensively, does well, and then, yeah, I think maybe just a bit of frustration, not too sure why he feels he has to make it.
Yeah,
but, yeah, another good position for a set piece.
Yeah, like you say, he won it well, but the Rovers player got between him and the ball, and he just had to usher him out and get him to pass it backwards, but clipped his ankle. He didn't complain. Mind you, last time he complained, he got a yellow card. So. Wrexham have a 3-man wall. Lindsay will take it. It's good 25 yards out. You'd think a cross, but then again, in these conditions, who knows? Lindsay gets the go-ahead, signals, and sweeps it to the far post. Howard punches it well. He'll come back in again from the left flank. Thomas delivers, blocked by Palmer. And now can Wrexham break Barnett? Oh, unlucky ricochet. He nearly found Cannon, as there is. Now it's Wilson on the right, sitting in the cross. Great work by Rathbone to get a touch on the cross, but the ball's bobbling around in the box. Comes back out, chance to shoot for Kante. Hits it, well blocked by Brunt. Ball come out edge, Barnett's got there first. Can he use his pace? Oh, unlucky. He tries to find Mullen, he was up against the last defender. Under hit it, and the fans are getting enthusiastic again. They're still in this game, they're only one down, Bristol Rovers. And they've had their first spell of threat in the half. Here's Thomas again on the left-hand side. He's got Barnett and Cannon to beat, and he delivers a good goal. On the cherries, beaten to it in the air by Brunt. And Howard does well to stop it going for the corner. Well, got their tails up there, haven't they?
Yeah, they just got a couple of second balls back from passes when Wrexham have just had them. They've gone straight in and pressed early and managed to get possession back and then keep it alive. Couple of bottles into the box. Not dealt with Wrexham.
Howard goes long looking for Palmer, who's chasing and gets there just about. Pulls the ball back in, he agitates it first time. And Rathbone's there and hits the shot just wide because of a crucial block by Lindsay.
Well, just thought everybody looked like they stopped, didn't they? Great little sidewinder from Mark Howard over the top. Ollie Palmer doesn't give it up, and he's able just to get something on it back into the box. Mullen had taken his defender in with him, and it's Rathbone making up the ground to hit, and a block out for a corner.
Yeah, everyone stopped, but Rathbone never stops. So he wins the corner. An away swinger from McLean to the near post, headed away well by Martin. Thomas racing for the ball, and it's good pressure that by Cannon. Thomas dives, and the rest not fooled by that. He's going to get sent off, is my prediction, Thomas. He's getting handsy with Barnett because he can't quite deal with him. He's diving like that. He's going to get sent off him. Long ball to Palmer, who nods it down just behind Mullen, who's unmarked and clear on goal. James fighting for it. McCormack did well to beat him to it. James sticks with him well, though. Oh, good tackle that. He hasn't come out with the ball, but he's held the break up. And that's fed to the right-hand side. Senior back to the halfway line. Wrexham putting pressure on. Weldon McLean puts out for the throw on the halfway line.
Well, again, Mullen from that forward pass, he was in acres of space, and just ball went into Palmer. He won the header, but it was just behind Mullen. But if he had picked out Mullen, he must have had 10 yards in the back line to himself.
Yeah, the gap between the centre-backs is quite something, and that, like I say, that feels like something that's happened far too often from Bristol Rovers' perspective. Anyway, Wrexham have a throw in their own half. 52nd minute. Wrexham still 1-0 up. Palmer again gets there ahead of a centre-back. Muller clears his prod forwards. Martin helps it on, and Brunt fakes to hit it long and then gets it back to Howard. Omocheri will chase him. Howard feeds it calmly out to Cleworth. Omocheri still chasing, but Wrexham feed it forwards. Barnett down a line, and Mullins chasing him behind Muller. Muller intercepts this time, but there's always a slight doubt with him that it might get through him. He's done well that time though, and Conte crosses the halfway line. In midfield, it's slowed down though until in the end Cannon gets a foot in and it all gets a bit scrappy. Cleworth battling with Omocheri. James hooks it clear, lovely ball to Palmer. The ball bounces away from him though, and Muller gets it forwards. Taken on the chest by Cleworth, that gets away from him, and it's a kind of attempt at a shot from the halfway line by Mola. With the wind behind him, maybe. As it is, Howard just goes across and fields it. So still 1-0 here. Howard, who with that great kick before just took something off it, has dropped it in the right area there, but it's headed away firmly by Taylor. Omocheri's given them a bit more up front, I would say, and he helps her on well. Parcel overlap, but Brunt again, good pace, beats Senior to it. McLean under pressure, back to Brunt after drawing two men to him. Brunt inside, Massey James lays it back. Brunt gets rid. That was tidy play by Wrexham, and Palmer will chase this. Mola should just get there first, and he wanted to run behind. He plays the back pass, and that's a poor back pass. Corner. The referee's waiting for the linesman. He's given a goal kick. Well, that's remarkable. The linesman was further away than the ref.
They just look at each other and go, right,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know? No. Maybe Palmer is not remonstrating too much, so maybe there was a little snicko as it went past him. But really don't know what Mola was doing. Like, trying to get it back to his keeper. You think he's going to just shield it out and roll it out for a goal kick, but decides to play it. Odd one.
It certainly was. The Wrexham fans were celebrating getting a corner, I thought, rather than asking the question. You can tell the difference in the crowd's tone. I don't know. Anyway, goal kick's taken. Lifted over the top, and Omocheri's after that. Howard judged that brilliantly and gets there first. Again, the ball would hold up in the winds in favour of Omocheri. Great keeping.
Well, they've certainly made a difference, haven't they, the two subs?
Yeah.
Senior on this right-hand side. Omocheri up with Martin. Around him. Certainly made a difference because he's just a willing runner. Any ball over the top, like we said in the first half, it was holding up.
Here's danger now. Mullen right side of the box. Feeds in for McLean. He blocks a clearance. And Senior manages after knocking it against McLean 8 yards out to bring it away and knock it long. O'Connell too strong for Omocheri. Brunt back to the keeper. But again, Wrexham asking questions. Just can't get that final touch on it. Here now, Wrexham building with Cleworth in his own half. Yeah, it all started when Taylor was at full extension for another long ball from the back, and if he hadn't quite got there, Mullen would have been clear on goal once more. He keeps making those runs. If Wrexham keep going like this, he feels it's a matter of time before he gets, but as Palmer flicks it on, got too much on that, and it bounces through to the keeper. Griffiths with the ball in his hands. Taylor demands and eventually gets it rolled to his feet. The Wrexham have opened them up enough times to score far more than one. Long ball forwards by Bristol Rovers. The backspin won't cause a bomb, but Brunt throw into Wrexham. It's going to be taken by Brunt. Throws it to the halfway line. Senior gets up well to head it clear. Good scrapping by McCormack. Helped on by Martin in the air. Brunton gets it well. Clearance completed by Rathbone, but only as far as McCormack. McLean does well. Steps in and wins it. And it goes back to Howard. Howard again. Going long to Palmer, and again he finds him. Palmer's layoff doesn't quite find his man. And Senior hooks it forwards. Omocheri can't bring it down. It's a bit scrappy, as you'd understand, in the window. Lovely ball by O'Connell. And Rathbone turns on it and is pulled back, and that's a yellow card. Has to be, as Lindsay pulled him down.
Well, Lindsay was the one that was courted for coming to us, wasn't it, in the summer?
Yeah.
Chased him, offered money. Didn't happen. Wonder what his penny for his thoughts right now.
Free kick taken short. Brunt feeds it. Mullen, that space in the hole. Curls it over the keeper, just wide. Good effort by Mullen. So alert, Brunt and Mullen there to spot the opportunity. And Mullen nearly got it inside the post.
Well, how many times now have we seen a player in a red shirt just drop into that hole? The space is there every time. Bristol is slow again to get out to it. And Mullen just takes it on. Really good attempt on goal for a player who's obviously not scored that many this season.
Goal kick hangs over the centre circle in the wind again. O'Connell's come all the way into the Bristol Rovers half to try and win it. Bristol Rovers half clear it. Cleworth nods it on again. Mullen looks to spin Mola, who managed to get a foot to it. Squares to Senior. McLean arrives, puts him under pressure, forces a backwards pass, and Martin receives on the edge of the box. He has time to turn and drive forwards. Nice pass inside into midfield. Good work that though by Brunt, who followed Darton and now wins it back, and Wrexham switch quickly. Barnett has got Morrell isolated, fakes the cross, little step over, swings to the far post, McLean under it, but no, it's gone behind for the goal kick. I saw the way Muller's defending, I just kind of wanted Barnett to run at him there, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, just go for the throat. Thomas nowhere near. Barnett just releases himself. Thomas nowhere near it, so Mola has to go out. 1v1, just doesn't get it quite right. Barnett thought he might drive into the box, and go proper 1v1 and get into the box, but he decides to just clip it in like he has done so many times, but his quality's not quite there.
Griffiths with the goal kick. Again, manages to get it to the centre circle before it starts hanging in the air. Lovely layoff by Machere. Senior hooks it over Wrexham's defence, and O'Connell misjudges that. Bounces off his body, and the cross comes in from Martin, headed away by Cleworth. Rathbone chasing the 50-50. Can't quite get there ahead of Senior. Good touch by Conte, gets him beyond Matty James. Pulls it back, cross comes in, that's a good idea. And again, Howard is sharp. Gets there first. But they have more threat in the second half.
Well, they're just keeping it alive, really. Any header that's made by Wrexham, it's more difficult because they're just asking the question in behind Wrexham, so it's more difficult. O'Connell there, like a forward defensive, had to deal with the one that was over his shoulder. But then they're always on the front foot and they're trying to pick up that second ball, which they've done so much better in this second half. But saying that, Wrexham have had so many opportunities to maybe put this game beyond them. They'll be ruined that so far.
Absolutely. As Muller plays a studied ball down the left-hand side. Thomas running at Barnett. Crosses early, hits Barnett, and it spins for a throw by the corner flag. Thomas across to take it.
Why has the ref looked at the linesman? Linesman's on the halfway line if that's gone the throw-in side of the flag or the corner flag. Just make a decision. You're right next to it and you're right behind it.
Or just don't make a decision and see who runs to take it. I mean, Thomas is not on corners. He ran across to take the throw. He takes it short. And Machere under pressure as well to lay it backwards, but it's well won back by Cannon. Now then, only Palmer ahead of him, but he can square it to Mullin. The passer slows Mullin down. He plays the ball back towards Cannon, and it's well intercepted, but Wrexham squandered that. Having said that, ball blasts out from the back, and Wrexham have it once more. Cannon, 25 yards out on the right flank, chips it in, looking for Palmer, and he takes it nicely on the turn, just gets away from him again. Slashed out of play by Taylor for a throw.
There was a little Sid there or an over. If Rathbone had given him a shout, I think Palmer could have faked to take it, and Rathbone was coming onto the edge of the box. A little hand up by Palmer to say, sorry, didn't see you. I think Rathbone could make that. The old Jacks. Is it, or Sid? That's what you meant to shout, isn't it?
I never got that hard with the pitch. There's Cannon, once a free kick, doesn't get it.
Well, you're not allowed to shout over, because that could be for either team, so there's a thing in football, you have to just shout a random name. And it's Jacks or Sid, which is over.
Over. It's all about the cricket today, isn't it? We saw looming on the hill, on top of the hill behind the away end, is the very impressive looking cricket ground of Gloucestershire. Ooh, is Mullin scrapping away. Concedes a throw by the Bristol Rovers corner flag, and
it's the first time we can see it though. Now that the mist and rain and drizzle has gone,
it'll be back. Don't worry. Yeah, shouting a name. I remember as a kid going to a game at Anfield. It was West Brom, and Tony Grealish gave away a free kick for not giving a name. When he shouted for the ball, which you rarely see in football. But yeah, that's the rule. Here's McLean in the centre circle. As a goalkeeper, of course, I couldn't shout Mark's ball. It rarely was. Howard knocks over the top too much on that. So, of course, you have to shout keepers. But I found that people, if I really barreled out, people wouldn't get in my way if I made enough noise. So I just shout Warhammer or something, and then everyone would retreat. Throw in to Bristol Rovers, left edge their own area. The Wrexham fans making good noise as McLean is wrestled around. Ref doesn't give it. Brunt, nice idea, looking for Rathbone, doesn't find him, but it's good work by Cannon to win it in a crowded midfield. Conte wins it well. When he looks around Machere, the pass is inaccurate. And Wrexham now have it at the back. Cleworth sensibly, as McCormick gets in his face, works it back to Howard. Sunshine. The floodlights have been on since midday. But yeah, sunshine. As O'Connell brings the ball out from the back. Maybe I won't watch that amateur game from the car. Here's Brunt turning in his own half. That was sloppy. Gives it away to Senior, who goes bursting down the right. Only Omocheri's kept up with him, and Matty James tracks back well. And he wins a goal kick. As Lindsay went in and claimed that he was caught with the follow through. He's not going to get that decision. He stayed down, mind. Yeah, but Wrexham are still in the lead, still haven't added to that lead though. How long have we got left? Still in about, what, 28 minutes? Having a short goal kick to Cleworth. And he stands up the immediate diagonal. Palmer goes over his head. And Rathbone chase it, even though they had no chance. He still puts a little spurt on just to say, fair play. He'll chase anything.
Well, it's certainly the diagonal is a lot better use in this wind than the straight ball, because if the wind gets it, it's just out and gone down this hill for a goal kick. So hitting the diag's the right idea. Just trying to pick Ollie Palmer, whether he comes across in front of his man or whether he pulls off the back of him, and then who can play off his second ball and the winner.
Wrexham fan on Ask Wrexham says got to be close to Fletcher time. Interesting point that. Could well be. He may enjoy having some aerial battles. These centre-backs look nicely softened up to me as Cleworth feeds it over to the right. Well, Palmer's had a very good game. Barnett cutting inside, then outside Thomas. Feeds it down the line. Cannon now on the right, level the edge of the area. He turns away from Conte, back to Barnett. Wrexham drawing defenders across to that side of the pitch. James of a little give and go. The pass back to him's overhead, but he goes to ground and wins a tackle. And then the free kick is conceded as Cannon tries to get to the ball. And Dan D has declared you sassy today, Andy. He says he's enjoying your sassiness today.
I don't think I've ever been called that.
Jim Zaroli says this is your weekly reminder that Ollie Rathbone's motor never stops. Absolutely so.
I think Fletcher might be a good shout though. Ollie Palmer on a yellow as well.
Yeah.
Could just make a little bit of a lift, give the team a little bit of something. Game's just sort of gone a little bit, hasn't it?
Exactly so. It's you just feel it's just there for us to take that second goal as Martin flicks it on well, held it well by Omocheri, lays it up nicely. Lindsay in the box, crucial challenge by Cleworth, and it's gone behind for the goal kick. The Bristol Rovers fans complaining that they didn't take the chance to shoot. I thought, to be fair, Cleworth was very quick to react there and force a hurried shot.
Well, I didn't think there was ever a chance to shoot in that. I thought the pass was on Moore. Just a little side pass down the side to Omocheri, but he just doesn't take the opportunity and gets swarmed out a little bit.
And Ollie Palmer is going to be withdrawn for Stephen Fletcher. Just as you predicted on Ask Wrexham, Fletcher, yeah, I think could enjoy himself here if we give him the service. Palmer, though, again, a great shift, and he's bullied these centre-backs and done his usual shift at the back as well. So Howard with the goal kick. Wrexham 1-0 up. 67th minute. He's immediately looking for Fletcher. Goes over his head though. Throw in to Bristol Rovers, about 20 yards out from their own goal, right hand side. Martin goes across the take. He's got options down the line. Got two big men up front, of course, now Bristol Rovers, and the ball is headed in square. Wrexham battle and win it back through Matty James, though. Cleworth mishits his pass, but Barnett goes to ground, wins a tackle. It ricochets unkindly, though, but Thomas has a poor touch and a good tackle by O'Connor. Finds Fletcher, lovely first-time layoff. Wrexham got men over here. Rathbone drives through the middle. Mullen's gone offside. Rathbone hits a tame shot well wide. Unfortunately, he was just head down and run, and once Mullen went offside, I think that closed the one option he could see, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought the pass was out to Cannon a little bit earlier when he first took a touch, but he was off and running. He was driving into that box. You've seen him do it before. Just a little bit off balance when he's tried to strike it, and it's gone out for a goal kick.
Yeah, so hard when you go in at that sort of speed as well to make good contact and connection on the strike. But really nice little bit of play from Stephen Fletcher. Just has a look, sees Ollie Rathbone and plays him in. Lovely little flick.
Here's Cleworth now on the halfway line. Standing up the diagonal for Fletcher, who attacks this well, one in the air to get it away from him though. And he's conceded the free kick as well. Yeah, Fletcher were immediately looking to pick him out. But to be fair, that was really well dealt with by the centre-back Wilson.
You could bring Ash Wrexham out now. The sun's out here, so you can. Yeah. Anybody else want some? Beautiful here, 25 degrees.
Yeah, the sun's casting shadows across the pitch. Ridiculous. Cleworth gets up. Ball drops loose. Ref doesn't give a foul against Martin, who chips a clever ball in the box. Lewis brunches across quickly to cover it though, and Barnett launches it clear. Throw into Bristol Rovers. They want to take it from level the edge of the area. The ref says no. They go a bit further back than that. So throw in. Thomas will take. He's been a feisty presence since he's come on. Gets the ball back from Conte and feeds it back to the halfway line. Mola put under pressure by Mullin, who will chase the back pass as well. And Fletcher belatedly goes running across to cover the pass out to Martin. His pass is poor. Badly overhead, straight through to Howard. I keep calling Wilson Martin, and I don't know why. O'Connell just tries to take something off that and chips it nicely onto the head of Fletcher, but is not down for Rathbone. Doesn't quite find him, and it goes for a throw. Just inside the Wrexham half, right-hand side. Senior will take it. And the ball's laid off cleverly by the real Martin, but Cleworth intercepts a poor pass by Lindsay. Howard looks up, sees his opportunities, launches it. Fletcher wrestling away. It's another good defensive header, but Rathbone does well to stretch and control it, and Wrexham can break again now. Cannon's demanding it. Rathbone shouldn't have played him in perhaps, but Barnett has it now. Cannon again available down the line, and Barnett goes round the outside of Thomas, then turns back. Cannon's looking to make himself available, receives it, and then he goes round the outside, taking on Conte, who sticks with him well. Back to Cleworth. First time cross, Fletcher attacks it and is unlucky, goes just wide. Well, everyone thinks it's a corner, and the referee's decided to agree with them. Fletcher flung a foot at it, hit a defender, went wide of the goal. Every player stayed in the box, and the referee was trying to walk away.
Yeah, well, again, I think the linesman and ref are just looking at each other going, well, someone make a decision, please. I don't want to do it. Yeah. But, yeah, corner to Wrexham. Another big chance. Stephen Fletcher just can't quite wrap his foot round the defender, who does well in the end.
So, another in swinger. Cleworth will take. The referee is just wanting to have words again with players. Talks to Wilson, the centre-back. And he's happy now. So, McLean gets the go-ahead. Signals. Sweeps it in, flats, and it's attacked to be another corner. I was a bit presumptuous saying that, wasn't I? But Brunt attacked it at the near post. Awkward one to defend, and they managed to squeeze it behind again. So McLean once more. Same signal. Higher delivery. Oh, if Muller was unmarked at the far post, I thought it was going to come through to him. Intercepted. The ball's back to James on the halfway line. He stands it back in. He sees that O'Connell is there. It drops loose and is attacked on the edge of the box. Conte smashes it into the crowd. Now that O'Connell's hurt, he just attacked that with the defender, and they came together. The ball was banging between the two of them as well. And Mullin is keen for the physio to come on, and he does. As Bristol Rovers are making another change. Hutchinson on from McCormick. I think McCormick's, you'd like to see a bit more out of him creatively, I think, where he's playing, but he had a lot of, he fought hard in midfield. I wondered whether one of the deeper ones might come off to give him another attacking option. I don't know. And McConnell's still being treated. I thought it was I'm not saying this is concussion, I'm just this is putting him in mind, but I always thought it was a 10-day concussion rule and found out last Sunday it isn't. When Lily Jones didn't play, the 10 days is just the first phase, and it depends what stage of your recovery you're at. So she couldn't play last Sunday as well in the insane game against Barrytown United. 4-3 win. So O'Connell's still being treated. They did seem to be looking at his head. And certainly Mullin seemed alarmed. O'Connell's up though and is running off the pitch. So let's see what state he's in. But yeah, still Wrexham are desperate to get that second goal that would, well, frankly, bring a bit of reality to the scoreline. Trago man and Ask Wrexham has sent a picture of the thick snow in Wisconsin to cheer you up, Andy.
Brilliant.
5 inches of snow and 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Throw in taken, and Wrexham now break down the right once more. Cannon's got in behind Thomas, puts in the cross, good interception as Mullin lurked. It's played back in there, another clearance. Rathbone drills it just wide. Whoa, he got hold of that. Left footed, smashed it. He's limping after that. He hit it so well, he's hurt himself.
Yeah,
wow.
Great strike that, wasn't it? Difficult technique. He's already had one in the first half, but absolute power driver with his left, and it's just bending away from goal. Just goes the wrong side of the upright, but sweet.
Well, yeah, he's definitely put everything into it because, like you say, Mark, he hobbled away after striking it. Looked in a bit of pain.
He's pulled a couple as well, and then he does that. Wow, that's what Alan Partridge would call a thriker. As the ball's fed over the top on a Cherry, holds off his man, works it wide, and Wrexham get Brunt and McLean across there, and they can see the throw in the end. O'Connell is back on the pitch. Throw in then by the corner flag. As the Bristol Rovers fans find their voices behind Howard's goal. It's Senior weighing up options, crowd impatient, throws it into the box, chested on nicely by Martin, great interception by Rathbone, just took it away from his man, and it's thrashed out for another throw into Bristol Rovers, this time about 25 yards out. Wilson with the ball in his hands, 30 yards out from goal, throws it in short. Hutchinson's first involvement, and he's managed to improvise a little back heel to to Wilson. He's got it back on the right, but Wrexham immediately swarm around him. Pressure put on the centre back. In the end, his touch lets him down, and Rathbone again is there to thrash it clear. Picked up by Moeller in the halfway line though, and Wrexham just want to start getting the grip back on the ball here. Rovers having a good little spell of possession in Wrexham's half. A little burst on the outside by Thomas, and the ball to the near post. Martin gets there first, lays it off poorly, luckily for Wrexham. Barnett intercepts, knocks it forwards early. Fletcher jumps up, he's the only man up there, and he tries to head it on and then chase it, but it goes out of play. A little spell of decent possession for Bristol Rovers though. That's it, 1-0. Nobody's ever out of a game. Long. O'Connell does well to beat Cherry in the air. It'll come back in again. This time Cleworth beats Cherry to it well. Shout for handball by the fans. Very hopeful. Fletcher battling away. Loses it. Cherry turns. Plays a nice idea, and Cleworth again is there with a last-ditch challenge. He felt he was fouled by Martin, but it's a throw-in, and Bristol Rovers actually sustained pressure now from them.
Yeah, but good position from Cleworth. Just in behind Owen O'Connell, who goes in, get a bit of luck through his legs. So with there, bit of a push in the back, he goes to clear it with his right foot really, probably should go with his left. But out for a corner.
So everyone back but Mullin. He's in that half and half position. In swinging corner. It's headed away from under the bar, well, partly away, bobbling around still. Cleworth tries to get the block in, it comes back in, Rathbone heads it clear. Headed back in towards the penalty spot. Well done, Brunt makes it his. Barnett gets up, Roney heads it square. Martin is there. Excellent work to knock him off it by Cannon. Martin thinks about pulling him down, doesn't. And McLean plays a through ball. Mullin, right channel, has got Barnett ripping inside him. Mullin hits it over. Skied it. Barnett was unmarked inside. You can understand Mullin taking it on though. You know, it's a chance.
Yeah, definitely. Brilliant play by Andy Cannon. He reads the bounce of it and takes it away from the defender, and then a nice pass, a deflection into Mullins' path, and Barnett does the right thing, goes past him. Whether the pass is on or not, I think Mullins got to shoot from the edge of the box, but he's got to hit the target, and he just pulls off it a little early and up and over the bar, hit the target, and then maybe Barnett just taps in the rebound.
Well, 78th minute, another chance gone for Wrexham. Fletcher flicks it on nicely. Mullen on the chase. Mola will usher it back to the keeper, though. And again, we're getting balls in behind them with regularity. Long kick. Cherry wins the ball well. Retreating, James gets a foot in. Ball spread wide, though. Now Thomas has got Barnett isolated. Puts an early cross in. It's a poor one. Cleworth heads it clear. Thomas has brought a good energy down the left-hand side, but his crossing at the moment hasn't been that great, luckily for Wrexham.
No, it's been the best thing that's happened to Bristol is the changes, because I think when you play 5 centre-halves as a back 5, automatically in your brain it's, we're not going to try and concede here. We're not going to offer too much going forward. But then a couple of changes, a couple of brighter forward players, and it makes Barnett, makes McLean go back towards their own goal a little bit more, and it asks more of a question of the back 5.
Right, is this a change of shape? Shaq Ford, a striker, comes on. He's going onto the right-hand side. And off has gone Mola. And are they gone to... Well, maybe go to a flat back four, but of course they could tuck Senior in and have a striker on as wing back. Let's see how they settle in as the throw-in's taken. And immediately Conte, beg your pardon, wastes the ball through to Wrexham. It's a funny setup here as well, because the changing rooms are on one side and the dugouts are on the other, which is quite peculiar. You've seen players going off straight down the tunnel rather than to the dugouts. As the throw-in's taken, Mullin, good work, excellent work, just leans into Taylor and wins the free kick. Taylor just kept hold of him, couldn't allow to let him run past him. Wrexham can slow play down a bit. We'll be into the last 10 by the time this is taken. Eventually Rathbone is wandering back. Bristol Rovers have everybody back defending. Ford starting to wander forwards. And Rathbone feeds it wide. Wrexham with 2 players out on the right. Cannon to Barnett. Barnett running at his man. Cuts back on his left foot. Cannon's gone beyond. Barnett runs into the space that he's created and feeds it to Rathbone. And it wasn't a great pass, and Cherry got a foot to that. But it ricochets to McLean, who launches a diagonal back end. Barnett hooks it over the top, but that'll go straight through to the keeper. Wrexham made a bit of a hash of that set piece. So now Griffiths with the ball at his feet, hitting it through the middle, looking for Martin. Just lets it bounce. It's hooked on by Hutchinson, but easily intercepted. And that's something for Mullin to fight for. He flicks it on well, just the wrong side of Fletcher. Senior coming out is fouled by Rathbone. Just couldn't stop himself and ran into him, basically.
Just looks like Senior's gone into that right side of a 3. Ford come on the right. Wing back, they've just going for it a little bit more. Hutchinson up front as well, just in behind the front 2. Thomas playing really wide.
Free kick launched in. And well won by Cleworth, who is fouled in the process, but the play continues. A break here, 3-on-3. Mullin cuts on his right foot and switches nicely. Now, Cannon has got Fletcher and Mullin at the far post. I think Fletcher could be offside. He's managed to head it up in the air. Yeah, offside. Went far too soon.
Yeah, and I don't think he had to, did he? I think, it's one of them, another half chance for Wrexham. Mullin does really well, just delays that ball, waits for Andy Cannon, I think it was, out wide to get in that space, and then plays him in really nicely. And then, I just think Fletcher, can he just delay that run a little bit? And there's a real chance he's in the space. It's a really good counter again by Wrexham.
It's those sort of situations where Fletcher just wants to stood up to the far post, doesn't he? And he'll get a run on the centre back and win it, but he went in too early instead. Griffiths' goal kick. Cherry's done really well getting on the end of those. He had to fight to get there. And now Bristol Rovers again, a poor pass down the line. And Wilson apologises. Throws to Wrexham 30 yards out from our own half right-hand side.
I think Cherry's done everything right since he's come on. It's just that when he plays it off, the player around him hasn't got that pass right, sadly for him. But that's something, going into these last few minutes now, Wrexham just need to be aware of, that they start winning a few more of them battles.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's made a real difference up front. As head tennis in the middle of the pitch now. until Hutchison drops back and nods it into his own half. Senior. Rathbone's tearing after him. His pass to Ford is a good one, and McLean clipped him as he turns. A little lucky maybe not to answer his yellow card collection there. He was late. Ford had got past him. Free kick in midfield. Ford didn't make a drama of it, to be fair to him. So another change to be made, and it's going to be Dobson, George Dobson, coming on for Andy Cannon, who again has just run himself into the ground. A really good performance, all action from Cannon, and that link up we always talk about with Barnett has been there again. Dobson, of course, will go in the same position, but will offer a bit more solidity as well, perhaps, in terms of sitting in a little more if we choose to. He's got that capacity.
I think so. He's sort of got the energy as well, just to add a little bit of impetus in this last 10 to try and just get us over the line. Can the front two just nick us that goal, just to make this last 10 minutes a little bit less nervy?
Yeah, this is daft, really. This shouldn't be a game at the moment. We should have finished this off, but as it is, it's only 1-0. And it's not over. Griffiths stands the free kick up to the edge of the box. The wind holds it, and I think deceives on Cherry. Well done, Rathbone. Gets to a 50-50. Looks to have been fouled. Mullins definitely being fouled by Senior. Nothing given, but Fletcher wins it back. Oh, unlucky. If he could have played it the way he was facing, Dobson would have been clear on goal. As it is, Rovers switch it out to the wide, but Hitchinson can't get there. Amazed neither free kick was given, I've got to admit. But that was, if Fletcher had just seen Dobson, he could have rolled him in.
Well, he had to hold his run as well because he'd gone into the opponent's half, and he just stepped it to stay onside, and the pass just unfortunately went the wrong way, not into his path.
So throw down the line. Fletcher does well to get there ahead of his man. The throw in goes against him though. Throw taken quickly. And Taylor inside to the halfway line. Conte helping it on to Hutchinson, dropping off deep. He's got Thomas outside him and rolls him in. Him against Barnett now. Dobson's come across to help. Thomas pulls back nicely. Crowd tell Hutchinson to shoot. He does. It hits a defender. And on the stretch, McLean did well to head it away from Ford, but he retrieves it and will put it back in. Rathbone and McLean, and Ford, well, cuts between the two of them and then goes to ground rather easily. Fletcher can't quite bring it down when it's cleared. Throw in. Taken quickly back to Taylor. Griffiths is outside his box, offering if he wants to change the angle of the pass. He's going to go wide instead. Senior. Rathbone coming across to him. Crosses into the far post. Swings away from goal. Barnett has a look over his shoulders and then hits it against Thomas. He crosses it on Cherry. Scores! Oh, Wrexham. Such sloppy work. Barnett failed to get rid of it. And, well, Bristol Rovers have had no threat, but they've equalised with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, it's the first massive chance for Bristol Rovers. Ryan Barnett looks over his shoulder. You think he knows where the attacker is. And then he lets it bounce, which is something as a defender you always taught, just don't let that ball bounce, especially in your own box. But it's such a difficult one to defend, but he just gets it wrong. He's been so good again today, Ryan Barnett, but yeah, that's one he's definitely been caught out on.
Well, it could have been a handball, I think, because it come across his body, jumped up on his hand, but like Mia says, just knows he's there. All he's got to do is hook it out with his left foot, and he just doesn't. And then Thomas, I think it is, just puts it back on Omacher's head, and he does a really good header, really powerful into the bottom corner, and that's the chances that Wrexham have missed. He freed up, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, as immediately Fletcher wins a free kick on the right flank. A bit of a wild swing by Wilson, his foot very high. I think it may be in contact with Fletcher's head as well. Ref's not looking at his pocket. But free kick right hand side, 20 yards out. But goodness me, you know, to draw this game will feel like a defeat, because this has been pretty straightforward. That's the first attack I've noted down by Bristol Rovers. For me, the only moments they've had before that were the two times when Cleworth came across and made challenges on the edge of the area. It's certainly their first shot on target. So free kick right hand side. Rathbone to take. Referee's taking his time setting this up. Rathbone still waits. At the far post, Cleworth is just trying to get blind side of Conte. They're wrestling away. Ref gives the go ahead. Rathbone Sweeps the ball in. Oh, it's a good header away by Taylor. Headed back in by Barnett. Keeper comes, punch as well. He was fouled as well by Fletcher. Free kick. And a chance goes begging. The Bristol Rovers fans, they can smell blood in the water. They want to go for another.
Well, that's Wrexham's problem now. They've still got time. There's going to be added on minutes for sure. But you have to say the momentum's probably more on Bristol's side.
Yeah. The kick holds up badly in the wind and Fletcher chests it on. Mullen will be beaten to it by Senior. He can't chance the back pass though, and Mullen wins the corner. Senior caught in two minds. The Wrexham fans on their feet, roaring their team on. Rathbone's going to come across to take it. Bristol Rovers again, everybody back defending. Referee is just stopping the kick from being taken. He wants to go. It feels a bit like the ref wants to go in and look for trouble in the goalmouth and hold the game up, because there doesn't seem to be any pulling. But
well, no, he told Ollie Rathbone to wait.
Yeah.
Pretty much before. I think there's a problem with the linesman. To be fair, maybe I'm not sure.
Ain't there always? He's put his flag. Oh yeah, he's put his flag down. His equipment's not working. That wasn't the euphemism. Yeah, so he's going to cross, try and help him out. Have you tried switching it off and on again? Yeah, so Wrexham will have to wait. Well, I never like defences having to wait for a set piece like this. You know, a chance to switch off. So we're going to have to wait a bit longer. The referee has put his armband back on, and now we'll be able to resume. They've now decided to leave Ford up on the halfway line, Bristol Rovers, rather than have everyone back. And the referee is going to give the go-ahead. So Rathbone signals. Floats in under the bar. Rathbone, ooh, did that hit the bar? He punched it away. It was a nasty one. And that Griffiths was certainly at full stretch as Mullen sprints across to quickly take the throw. Wrexham are just hemming Bristol Rovers in now. The throw in, Barnett takes that well and is tackled. Another throw by the corner flag. 5 added minutes. The Wrexham fans roar at that. Barnett with the ball in his hands. As Dobson and Mullen. Dobson offers. Barnett says nope. Mullen now receives it under pressure. Hooks the ball in and puts it behind. That wasn't a great decision, that by Mullen. Goal kick. But yeah, that corner caused an issue, didn't it? But Rathbones, it was problematic for Griffiths. Goal kick. And it's not long, and O'Connell gets it away, headed forwards by Conte. Brunt launches it. And it's headed away again. In midfield, Rathbone jumps, can't get to it though. Hutchison feeds it wide. Ford now running at McLean. Fakes to go inside, does in the end, and squares it. And Conte's got a bit of space. Threads a good ball to Amacherry. He helps it on to Ford. Good tackle again by Brunt. Just pokes it away. Throw by the corner flag. Wrexham having to dig in. We've had one of the added 5 minutes. Senior will take the throw. Wrexham leave Fletcher up front. Mullen back picking up Conte on the edge of the area. Throw in to the near post and it's touched on by Martin. Rathbone gets the free kick. Amacherry made contact with him. I don't know if it was much more than that, but Rathbone hit the deck and got the decision. So Howard with the kick. Hits it for Fletcher, well beaten in the air by Taylor, and the ball sticks for Hutchison in the middle of the pitch, helps on wide. Ford now, 3-on-3 break. Ford has got 2 players at the far post. Rathbone gets back brilliantly, but then doesn't come out with the ball. And Ford's helped it into the box, just over hit it for Hutchison, and it's cleared. Fletcher is pulled to the floor, and a handball's given against him. I don't know, chest or arm. He's given it anyway, the ref. Free kick to Bristol Rovers. Frustration for Wrexham. Yeah. So Griffiths will come across to take this free kick on the halfway line. The Bristol Rovers fans singing Good Night Irene, their song. So Griffiths stands her up towards the edge of the Wrexham area. The two Bristol Rovers big men go for it, but Dobson comes out with the ball and O'Connell tries to lift it. Mullin was the option. He's gone towards Fletcher. Fletcher's chasing gamely and he's put pressure on. Taylor back to the keeper. Mullin can't cut it out. Not a good kick by Griffiths, and he's lucky that it ricochets kindly and will be driven long towards the corner flag. McLean gets there first, hooks it away. Mullin on the halfway line, backing in. Can't claim the ball. Rathbone stretching, hooks it down the line and chases it himself. It's a real battle here. And in the end, Senior comes out with the ball with a chance to break away. Wrexham need to be careful we don't overcommit here, looking for that winner. Or it could go the other way. Senior has to slow it down as Wrexham get back. Conte sweeps in the cross, poor cross. Headed away comfortably by O'Connell. Conte wins it back well though. And now he has it in the centre circle. Feeds it to the feet of Omachere. He works it inside. Senior, 25 yards out, comes out wide to Ford. Ford running at McLean in the box. Rathbone comes to him. McLean takes it from him well now. Can Wrexham break? Barnett has it. Draws his man to him and then is tackled by Thomas. And Hutchinson is running into the box, left-hand side. Drives it in, it deflects off Cleworth. Big foot in by Brunt. Rathbone with a tremendous lunging tackle. When Omachere looked like he was going to hit it. And it's a corner. Well, Barnett wants to make amends, but he nearly made another costly error.
Yeah, I tell you what's been an ultimately comfortable 85 minutes or so has turned into an incredibly nerve-wracking last 5 minutes, where you're sort of thinking, I'd take a point at this minute.
100%. That was a hell of an intervention by Rathbone. He saved a goal there. In swinging corner. Hutchinson with height beyond the keeper. Fletcher with a good header clear. Barnett does well to help it on. Hutchinson will put it back in again. No, Wrexham can't get out of the box. Hutchinson onto his right foot, stands it up to the edge of the 6-yard box with height. Fletcher wins that well and does cleverly, scooping it to his side to find McLean. He drives it long, and that is the final whistle. And goodness me, that was nuts. I mean, there's a trouble off the ball. Fletcher involved in the middle of it. McLean comes running in as well, and it's a massive melee on the edge of the Wrexham area. The referee will have some work to do here to sort this out. He's just standing on the edge of it and watching, but there's a lot of players involved, and sometimes you just get pushing and shoving, but that looks a bit more aggressive, frankly, than that. Didn't see what sparked it. Fletcher had just cleared the ball. Whether he was hit late after the whistle had gone, I don't know. Keeping an eye on the ref, he has booked James McLean, I think. McLean went charging in. The ref still got his yellow in his hand. Will he take more action? Well,
I didn't think it was James McLean initially. I thought it was Stephen Fletcher. So.
Well, he's going across to Fletcher now. And Fletcher gets booked. Maybe it wasn't McLean. He's booked another Bristol Rovers player, Wilson, as well.
Yeah, it was those two to start with.
Yeah.
And then McLean obviously has to get involved. And so he gets the yellow as well. But again, don't know what it sparked from, because Molar's come off the bench as well and got involved. So to be just a frustrating day, really, because that game was in the pocket. It was done. There was very little needed to get through the game. The chances that we've missed come to ruin because we've given up an opportunity at the other end and they've taken it. And certainly Omachere made a big difference when he came on up front, added a bit extra spice, bit of movement, bit of pace and guile, and they've come out with a point from nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. So frustration for Wrexham, who should have had that game won many times over. Took the lead through Elliot Lee. Lovely goal, fabulous pass by Matty James, and Lee with a great first-time finish. Lee then goes off injured, frustratingly for Wrexham. Hopefully not too serious, but Wrexham dominated, made chance after chance, got into countless other opportunities, just great positions, and couldn't pull the trigger and get that second goal, and then paid the price with Omachere's header from close range. Great controlled header by him. An error by Barnett not dealing with the ball at the far post. And yeah, at the end, as you said, Mia, we were clinging on, weren't we? The last 5 minutes, the added time, was desperate, having dominated the game.
Yeah, it's such a frustrating one. You know, like I said, it feels like 2 points dropped really, but in the end, you sort of have to be happy with that point, because, you know, I feel like Bristol Rovers could have and maybe should have got something out of that in the last few minutes. You know, watching back the goal, he has tried to clear it, Ryan Barnett, but probably just gone the wrong way. His body position, he's just got it wrong, and he'll look back at it, and I'm sure he'll be frustrated, because he's been so good this season, not just obviously offensively, but I think defensively he's been very solid too. But yeah, really frustrating one. We said at half time that we had so many chances, particularly in that first half, which I thought we were so good considering the weather conditions. But we just haven't taken advantage of it, and it'll be, you know, a frustrating one to take, you know, especially going into Christmas now. But hopefully back at the racecourse on Boxing Day, hopefully get back to winning ways.
Well, that's how we moved the ball around very nicely, and that move we had in the first half where we just didn't get the final ball off was spectacular in its one-touch quality. But despite all that, it's just the old truism, isn't it? If you don't get that second goal, the opponent's not dead.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's so frustrating, because that, I feel, is 2 points dropped. I think Cambridge last week, I thought that was a fair result, a point gained, and you look to the next one, but that one, the way that we've played in the first 75 minutes was just good enough to take all 3 points. And you have to score the goals when the opportunities come and bury these teams, because a little something will give them a spark and give them a little hope. And we've given them that, and they've come, and yes, Ryan Barnett's made a mistake, and they've capitalised on it, but the game should be done by then, and that'll be the frustration in the changing room, I'm sure.
I mean, the worry for me is at the moment, where are the goals going to come from? Because, you know, defensively we look so solid, but you can only rely on that to a certain point, and especially now with, obviously, I really hope Elliot Lee is nothing serious, but he's one who's going to contribute, and if he's out for, you know, a bit of a period of time, then that's a bit of a worry, especially when you look at Paul Mullin not being in the form that maybe we'd expect him to be in, and all he needs is that one goal. I think that's what everyone knows that, but it's just getting that one goal, that first goal, and, you know, at the moment it just doesn't look like it's coming. And obviously Jack Marriott's still out, hopefully he's back sooner than expected, but there's still that period, especially going into the next few weeks where games do build up. It's a busy time, there's some big games in there too, so yeah, a few sort of questions I think at the moment for Phil Parkinson to sort of ponder over, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, how it unfolds in the next few weeks.
Yeah, there was quite a few opportunities today where we could have just laid that pass in, and we didn't pick the right pass at the right time, where we're really normally good at that, and we've just not maybe taken that. Andy Cannon with an opportunity to mull in the first half, then there was Fletcher in the second half, just couldn't quite play it to just those deals. That's really fine lines, but it's the difference between going away with 3 and going away with 1 point.
Yeah, absolutely so. And then it was said at the very end we could have paid for it. I mean, the Rathbone deep into added time with that crazy challenge at the 6-yard box had a mad scramble. It was a brilliant piece of last-ditch defending, or we would have lost this match. So, well, it's but yeah, the opportunities racked up. Mullin did have a couple of opportunities, not easy ones. The second one, he lashed over the bar from the edge of the box, so he was right to take it on, I think, just got underneath it. The first one was indicative of the frustrating time he's had when he ran down the right-hand side. He thought he was offside and stopped to invite Cannon to run onto it, and it turned out he wasn't offside, and he could have run in on goal, which is frustrating, but again, that's life, it's bad luck. Yeah, but Wrexham will be hugely frustrated with that. 2 points dropped. That was about as one-sided a fixture as you could imagine. I mentioned in commentary, I didn't even write anything down that Bristol Rovers achieved until the goal. And yet, we haven't finished, put them to bed. And
well, I think 2 injuries have possibly changed this game today. Forbes going off and Thomas coming on. He's got their man of the match today for them down that left-hand side. And Elliot Lee going off because he was in absolutely glorious form in that first half an hour and was running the show. He was on the ball, he was creative, he was sharp, he was looking positive all the time. And that maybe is just that's flipped the game, really, in Rovers' favour.
It's sort of ironic that leading up to this, I saw a few people suggesting that we wouldn't persevere with using Lee as the sort of second striker, that we'd switch back to 2 up front. And yet, right now, after seeing the way he played, I'm thinking I hope he's fitting back soon, because that was a lovely example of, and also giving us that extra man in midfield, made the build a bit better.
Yeah, and I think that's an away formula that might well work, because we've been poking around for this away form. Our away form's all right. It's just not as good as our home form, is it? Because that's incredible. Our away form is mid-table. You know, that's absolutely fine. And we've been sort of not playing great, but picking up bits here and there. And I think this formula might suit away from home, with Lee being able to help out in the midfield when we're under pressure a little bit, but also being that link between him and Palmer being the battering ram that he is. And I think that's why he's stuck with it away from home. I think looking at the Cambridge game, you might look back and go, right, we probably could have gone with 2 strikers up there against them and really took the game to them. And maybe that's a way forward, you know, coming up in the games coming up over Christmas.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's an option rather than a necessity. It depends how good Lee is, of course. But, well, frustration for Wrexham. Should have won it, but didn't. At least the unbeaten run continues to grow. With a final score of Bristol Rovers 1, Wrexham 1. We've been Mark Griffiths, Mia Roberts and Andy Morrell from Wrexham AFC.